Oh, wow. Oh, wow. A pentiment? At this hour, it's true. Some people will tell you it's not true, but it is. We're gonna play Pentiment game, y'all. Y'all, it's Pentiment game. Uh, Full disclosure to set the scene. Oh, the music just ended. It'll come back in a second. I have played this game. I have completed this game. Um, I think it's very good. There's some stuff that's going to happen in here. There's going to be some murders. There's going to be a lot of talk about religion and religious institutions. I would say one of the best examples of giving a balanced view of religion and religious institutions I've seen in any media, but it's definitely in here. And so if that's something you're not into, or if you need to know like what exactly is it going to be, you can ask me. I'll let you know some more specifics. Even if it's you're watching the YouTube or the Twitch recap, hit me up and I'll answer some questions for you. Is there other stuff? There's probably some other stuff. I mean, language. There's cusses. So, bear that in mind. But those were the ones I really wanted to make sure to mention. But we're going to get started. This is Pentiment, and I am not focused on the right thing, so I need to click. There we go. Oh, thankfully that's not showing any spoilies. Yeah, that could actually have been a pretty big spoiler, so I'm glad that it's not. We're going to go with this second slot in case I want to go back to that one. I'm going to be reading the stuff, so I'm going to use the stylized fonts because I am confident I can read most of them. Sometimes I do get to a point where I'm not sure where one letter ends and another begins, but you'll see what I mean by that. You'll see what I mean by that as we get into it. Pentiment automatically saves your progress as you play the game, or in this case as I play it. Because in case you didn't know, I'm the one playing it right now. If you're holding a controller and thinking, why aren't these buttons doing what I think they should be doing? Now you know. I don't know what any of this means, so I'm just going to wipe it away. I know what some of it means. There's Veritas. I know what Veritas means. That's my gleaning of Latin that I can't have. Oh, but we have an opening sequence. The work done by the small team, absolutely incredible. Have to say that. We got our little marginalia critters. Always appreciated. That's not how fingers are supposed to work. Hi, Josh Sawyer. Hi again, Josh Sawyer. Tossing, Bavaria, Holy Roman Empire, April 1518. Here we have Weird Al having a nice snooze. Here we see the inside of the artist's mind. And the abbot said to me, Andreas, ooh, already a choice. Honestly, this is a much more interesting choice now that I know. I didn't realize I could do this. Incredible. There's more to this game than I knew. But that's what Brother Pierre looks like. I don't want you distracting the sisters in the library. I need you to finish this commission by the end of April, or keep your conversations with Brother Piero to a minimum. The abbot could have said any of these things to me, and that's the beauty of video games, is making choices. Just gonna go with the first one. First thought, best thought. Up to the devil's work again, are you? Don't encourage him. Devotion to one's work can yield pleasures of the mind superlative to those of the body. Either you need to spend more time with more exciting lovers, or I need to learn how to work the Socrates way. How did you reply to the abbot, Andreas? All good choices. I ignored him, which is what the comment merited. Oh, I like that tone. That may be so, but it put you on his bad side. What does it matter? Father Gernot needs Andreas to finish the Abbey's commissions. That is true, and Andreas is simply under the Abbot's employ, not a sworn brother of the Abbey. Despite the Abbot's ire, you must endure. Soon you will have finished both the Abbot's work as well as your masterpiece. And then you will return to Nuremberg, where marriage and your new life as a master await you. Yes, marriage to someone he has never met. Hardly ideal. Well, the alternative is becoming a philosopher. Oh, Jesus. Then you should definitely get married. Is she pretty, at least? That's what my brother said in his letter, but maybe he's just trying to lift my spirits? Oh, it is growing late. The wheel of time stops for no man, Andreas. I fear you must leave us. Ah, true, your majesty. Will you visit us again soon? Well, I can't always dream of this place, your majesty. Of course. If you are not here tomorrow night, I pray you will be someplace as pleasant. Grobian, please see Andreas safely home. Of course, your majesty. Until next time, Andreas. Until next time, your majesty. Pay no mind to the other fools, Andreas. I never do. Ow. Called it. My audio sync is a bit off. Let me fix that. I just remembered I haven't reset it. Hopefully that's okay. Hopefully it's okay. At least I would if they'd stop stepping on my feet. Watch where you're going. They're fools, Andreas. No point in trying to teach them anything. I know old John wants you to endure the abbot's shit, but since I take you home, I get the last word. Don't let him run you ragged, boy. I won't. The abbot can't push me around. That's what I like to hear. Again? Come on. God. Would you please stop? I give up. Take me home, Grobian. As you wish, Andreas. Good morning, Ursula. Ander. Time to get up. The Baron, April 1518. Quests. Another day, another few pages for the abbot, and hopefully a few for myself. I need to get across town and head up to the abbey so I can start work at the scriptorium. The Picatrix? Key of Solomon, the Heptameron. Prior Ferenc keeps giving me all these books to read. Hold on. There we go. There's the Prior. I really should clean this up. I'm not tired yet. Perhaps after Compline. What's Compline? Well, let me tell you, it's the monastic hour corresponding to 8 p.m. One of the little hours of prayer. The monks and nuns retire to their dormitories shortly afterward. Hi, Ursula. Andre. Thank you. So true. Hi, Clara. Good morning, Andreas. Did you sleep well? Quite well, actually, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Anyway, I know you'll be off to the Abbey, so I packed you some food. Almonds, cheese, and some of the rye you'd like from the Aldens. Otto wanted me to ask you to join him for dinner at the Abbey. Otto stopped by? Yes, around dawn. Here you are, Andreas. That's too kind of you, Clara. Many thanks. Master Andreas, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, could we... Would it be too much trouble if you paid next month's rent today? And if we raised it by 2 groschen? I hate to ask, but we're behind on our taxes to the Abbey. 2 months behind. Peter's losing his hair over it. Even more than usual, I mean. Yeah, the hair is being taken over by a big bowl. I'm not sure how to answer this. Rent wasn't due until the beginning of May. Be generous, Andreas. You can spare the money and it will ease their burden. You must take the consequences of inaction into account. What is this shit? Don't they pay taxes every year? Why is this falling on you to fix? I think we're going to be generous. On the other hand, she might think she can keep asking me for advances on rent. Of course, it's no problem at all. Besides, we wouldn't want Peter to lose any more of his precious hair. Oh, God bless you, Andreas. And may St. Luke watch over you today. Who's St. Luke? Christian evangelist and patron saint of artists and physicians, often represented by a winged bull. Speaking of St. Luke, how is your masterpiece coming along? It's been 2 months now, hasn't it? Slowly, I'm afraid. Most of my days are spent doing work for the Abbey. It's only during the divine office that Prior Faring allows me to work on my masterpiece. A reasonable restriction, but slow going. The city council doesn't require it to become a master. I'm making it mostly to show clients, and for my own sake. And yes, when I do finish, I will go back to Nuremberg, where I will marry and open a workshop of my own. You don't know Nuremberg, free imperial city of the Holy Roman Empire, major trade center, and city of arts, including printing. From Nuremberg to a university, and now traveling the world as an artist. What a life you have ahead of you, Master Andreas. Yes, I suppose it does feel like I'm starting a new chapter in my life after... Oh, we have a past, some missteps. It must be rather frightening, starting all over again. I owe it to my family to make something of my life. They helped me even after I dropped out of university. I can't let them down. I'm sure you make your family proud, Andreas. Anyway, I don't know anything about art, but I've seen you sketching such beautiful things in your little book. Your masterpiece must be wonderful. Let's fix that. There we go. You know what? Let's be proud of our work. It is. It's my finest work. Good. It makes me glad to see... There we go. Some confidence in the men around here sometimes. Now I have to get back to my own work. Let's fix that. There it is. Have a good day at the Abbey, Andreas, and we'll see you after Vespers for supper. Monastic hour at dusk. One of the major prayer hours. It is followed by supper. Not tonight, but thank you. Klaus Drucker invited me over for supper. Of course. Please say hello to the Druckers for us. Of course. Until later, Clara. Hello, Andreas. Hey there, Peter. Andreas. God bless you. Andreas. Ah, yes, Andreas. This weather's been god-awful. The town's gone to shit since my days. Were things very different when you were young? As different as... beer and piss. Okay. The old abbot didn't bother us much about our customs. He didn't mind if we left a little offering to Perchta to keep the skies clear, the weather fair. Pagan goddess of the Alps, associated with animals and spinning wool. She is still invoked by some Christians in Austria, Switzerland, Bavaria, and Swabia. Matthias knew that Christ was in our hearts, even if the White Lady's name was on our lips. Saint Moritz is the patron saint of Tassing. Legend states he was the Egyptian-born commander of a Roman legion who converted to Christianity. They were all martyred for their faith. His hand is a relic in Kirsau's shrine. I thought Saint Moritz protected Tassing. Yes, and Saint Satia too. But who do you think protected it before they came along? One of Tassing's patron saints, Satia was a local pagan who converted to Christianity and miraculously aided St. Moritz's soldiers with food in the dead of winter. She was martyred for her actions. The saints weren't the first to watch over Tassing. My father knew that. Old Rannig Kemper knew that. Kemper, excuse me. The late husband of Ottilia. That bastard abbot may not like it, but some of us keep the traditions alive. like the old widow, Ottilia. Yes, yes, she always hangs the door frame with lavender to keep the spirits out. Even if it doesn't help with spirits, it does smell nice. I suppose. I just know it helps with ghosts and witches and whatnot. I should go. All right. God bless you. Oh, it's a traffic ram. It's a traffic ram. Traffic lamb. Also, could also say traffic lamb. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Big York. How's it going? You working today? Just taking a rest for a bit. Dad's still in the field. He hit a big rock with the plow, and it took me Lord knows how long to pull it out. You off to the Abbey? Go. Every day but Sunday. Right. Thank God for Sundays. Smells like a storm's coming, no? Huh. Just smells like fresh alpine air to me. You've been traveling too much. Where was it you spent your wander yar before you came to Tassing? Wandering years during which a journeyman artist or craftsman travels far and wide to improve their skills. I'm gonna say wander yare. I'm not sure. Basel. Andreas knows some Italian and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Basel and nearby Bern, Zurich, and Freiburg. Flanders. Andreas knows some Dutch and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Antwerp, Bruges, and Ghent. Andreas knows Italian, a little Greek, and can reference cultural touchstones from Florence, Venice, and Milan. Let's say Flanders. Let's say Flanders. Antwerp, Bruges, and Ghent. All the great art cities of Flanders. Where's that? North and west, down by the sea. There's your problem. The sea air has confused your sense of smell. Spend enough time in these mountains and you'll be able to smell a storm coming. How long will that take? 10, 15 years? I don't think I have that long, Big Yorg. What do you spend all that time in Flanders doing, anyway? Other than art, I mean. Hedonist? Craftsman? Bookworm? Rapscallion? Businessman. This is the one I did on my previous playthrough, and it is very much fun. But I want to change it up. I think this Andreas was a little bit of a rapscallion, and it's trying to do things right now, but maybe sometimes still makes mistakes. That's what we're going with. Getting into trouble. I got involved in a scheme or two, a bit of mischief, more than a few brawls. Antwerp is overflowing with riches, rich fools, and traders from across Christendom and beyond. There's always someone to have a bit of fun with, or a bit of a fight. Sounds like a strange way to pass the time, Andreas. Anyway, I have to get going. Jorg, let's go. Dad's already acting like I'm taking too long, even though I did all the work to get that rock out. See you later, Andreas. Until later. Hi, Endris. Hello, Andreas. Endris Schmidt's Smithy. Endris Schmidt's Smithy. It's so much smaller than the one he uses at the Abbey. Traffic lamp. What? Hey, Andreas. Hello, Andreas. I think I need to come from the other side. I think I'm getting too clever. I need to come from the other side. Martin, please. Can you give me a hand here? What do you want? I'm keeping an eye on them. That looks a lot like standing there and doing nothing. Martin, for Christ's sake, help your cousin. Ah, morning, Andreas. Excuse us. One of the fence rails fell and the sheep started hopping it. Should I offer to help? Perhaps helping others also helps us. It allows us to feel useful and take satisfaction in our work. That idiot Martin should be helping them. Yell at him, give him a good scare, hee hee. Wrote the Socratic method. Then again, I don't know anything about sheep and I probably just get in their way. Is there anything I can do to help? Have you ever handled sheep before? Good point. Oh, look, there's something going on up at the Steinauer's place. Who's that on the horse? Looks rich. I don't know, Martin, but Lucky is giving him an earful. Christ, I haven't seen Lucky that worked up since Peter and Clara's wedding when Johann pulled his pants down. We know Peter. We know... Okay. We don't know Johann yet. Knocked two of my man's teeth out. I don't want to feel the strength behind a stonemason's anger. Do you think he's a noble? He looks really rich. God damn it, Martin. Stay out of trouble for once. What, Aunt Hetty? Behave yourself. Don't we have enough to deal with right now? Andreas, if you wouldn't mind moving your skinny little body up the road, we need to get these sheep under control. Of course. See you later. Good luck. What? Hey, Andreas. Hello, Andreas. My options are limited. Can't just sneak into your house. Morning, Andreas. How's it going? Morning, Klaus. Another day at the Abbey, another few hours to work on my masterpiece. Good to hear. You still coming by for supper tonight? Marie and Bert would love to see you. You really need to see these new woodcuts I have for an Italian edition of Till Eulenspiegel. The titular character of a popular 15th century book. Till is a prankster, constantly exposing the vices and hypocrisy of others. He is also quite skilled at tricking people into smelling, touching, or eating his excrement. I didn't realize Father Thomas let you print books in Italian. Come on, Andreas, he's not that strict. I know he's just trying to protect people from... Witch mania sounds exciting. Oh god, don't say that, Andreas. We're less than a day's ride from Innsbruck, capital of the Austrian county of Tyrol, and major stop on the Imperial Road connecting Italy and Bavaria. It is the closest major city to Kirchau Abbey and Tassing. I said tossing earlier, it's Tassing. Notably, it is also the site of the witch trials of witch trials in 1485. No need to get people around here all worked up about these witches again. Besides, don't talk about witches around Father Thomas. Just a bad idea. Good to know. So, supper tonight after Vespers? We'll see. If not tonight, sometime soon then. See you later, Andreas. See you later. God bless, Master Mahler. I hope your week is going well. Thank you, Father. It's going quite well. I'm just on my way up the hill to get to work. Good, good. Andreas, I don't recall seeing you at Sunday morning Mass. You understand how important it is for your salvation that you receive Holy Communion, don't you? I just stayed up too late on Saturday. I don't want to get into an argument with him about this. Would going to church on Sunday be such a burden? If not for his sake, consider it for your own. A man has his many duties. Many, many duties. Father Thomas should appreciate how hard you work to help the Abbey. This asshole can't make you go to Mass. To hell with him. Yes, everyone in town works hard, though. I do, but I've been working on sketches. I've been working on sketches late at night, and... Andreas, this is absolutely more than yours. This is about more than your success in life. There is an... Oh my, what a blessed day to receive such an illustrious visitor. Master Mahler, this is Lawrence, Baron of Rothvogel, a great lord from the countryside near Worms. Prosperous imperial free city in the western part of the empire. Located on the Rhine River, Worms has been the site of many imperial diets. Good to see you, Father Thomas. It is nice to be remembered fondly. I only wish all of your neighbors were as welcoming. Well, yes. What brings you back to our little town? My wife and I were returning from a trip to Venice. We spent a few days in Innsbruck, and it was terribly dull. I mean, it has a certain charm common to these alpine cities, but the place was crawling with nobles for the Emperor's Diet. That's an imperial diet. That's an assembly of the 3 colleges of the imperial estates of the Holy Roman Empire. The prince-electors, the princes and dukes, and representatives of the imperial cities. They meet to deliberate on matters of importance to the empire. The Emperor? Was he there? Did you see him? No, briefly, but he was sitting for a portrait at the time. Quite lovely. I didn't want to bother him or the painter. Who was the artist, my lord? I'm sure you know him. An older man from Nuremberg with enough of a reputation to paint the Emperor. I'm sorry, my lord. I'm not sure who you mean. Have you not heard of Albrecht Dürer? Pity. I thought he was known across the empire. Renowned painter and printmaker from Nuremberg, he is revered in Venice as well as across the Holy Roman Empire. Since 1512, he has enjoyed the patronage of Emperor Maximilian I. Anyway, my wife wanted to stay a bit longer in Innsbruck, and I decided to ride ahead to make a visit to Curacao. I heard Father Matthias died shortly after my last visit, of course. Abbot of Curacao before Father Gernot, widely respected by the monks and nuns as well as the people of Tassing, known for his kindness and his love of books. A great loss for the Abbey and for us all. Indeed. By good fortune, I recently came across a copy of the Historia Tessae. Ponta 91 Moo, thanks for the follow. Welcome on in. Father Matthias was hoping to find a second copy to corroborate the contents, fix that typo, of the first. I guess it's a grapho if you're writing it. It contains some fascinating details about the history of this place. I'm afraid they might even cause a bit of a scandal. Ah, yes. But I must be off. There will be time enough to discuss Tassing's past later. I commissioned a manuscript from the Abbey through Father Gernot, and I have to come to check on its progress. Oh, my lord, if you have come to see your manuscript, you should speak with young Master Maller here. Not quite a true master yet. I still have to marry and be approved by our city council. Andreas is a journeyman artist from Nuremberg. For the next few months, he's also helping in the Abbey's scriptorium. Important word, so I'm going to highlight it. A scriptorium, it's a room for writing, illustrating, and illuminating manuscripts. Though typically associated with monasteries, they have disappeared from almost all abbeys by the 16th century. A Nuremberger artist working in an abbey scriptorium in 1518? Oh, we should talk, Andreas. I must know the story. Oh, I'm a sad little puppy. Of course, my lord, it would be an honor. Wonderful. It's so rare to find someone in the countryside who knows anything about art. Thank you for the introduction, Father Thomas. Come to supper at the Abbey tonight. I'm inviting you to the Abbot's table. Did the Abbot invite me? Oh, don't worry about it, Father. Just show up after Vespers. What is he going to do? Refuse us? Excellent. We will see you then. Niklaus, I'm dismounting. Run ahead of us and take the horses to the Abbey's guest house. I'd like to take my time talking with Master Mahler. I'll meet you there. At once, my lord. So then, a journeyman from Nuremberg. Forgive me for saying so, but you seem a little old to not yet be a master. Are you unmarried? No, I'm not married, but in truth I came to my vocation later than my father and brothers. I was in university for a number of years at Erfurt, one of the most populous cities in the empire, and is located near its heart. It has been home to a respected university since 1379 and is a center for humanist thought. Erfurt, wonderful. The same university as Martin Luther. Have you read his works? Tremendous mind. Priest and professor of theology at the University of Wittenberg. Controversial for his opinions on the church's sale of indulgences to forgive sin, which were recently published and distributed throughout the empire. He says things about the church that should have been said years ago. Might get him into some trouble, but he's a brave, brilliant man. Wait, you might have even met him. Did you? Oh, you must tell me. No, he was a few years ahead of me. Still, his ideas do seem fascinating. I agree, wholeheartedly. I simply must meet him if I get the chance. I wonder if the good brothers of the Abbey have heard of him. Perhaps they have even read his list of 95 theses against the church. A list of propositions against the church's practice of selling indulgences for the remission of sin. It was written in 1517 by Martin Luther. Father Matthias was not above having a lively debate. I hope Father Gernot does not disappoint in that regard. But enough about Luther for now. Tell me about your university studies. Why are you so interested in my education? Ah, yes, it must seem strange. I did not attend university, but I had a rich private education in my family's estate. Oh, In that case, different font. I love all knowledge, from Aristotle and Cicero to Ficino and Erasmus, and everyone in between and yet to come. Aristotle, Greek philosopher. I'm going to skim some of these. Erasmus, a Dutch priest and philosopher. Call for reforms in the church. Cicero, statesman, scholar, lawyer, and renowned orator of the late Roman Republic. Ficino, 15th century Italian priest and humanist who was one of the leading figures of the Italian Renaissance, known for translating Plato into Latin. Also, it says about Aristotle, even more work is attributed to him than he could have ever written. Did he intentionally steal the credit, or did people say, hey, this is Aristotle, you should read it, so that people would read it? Maybe a little bit of both, who knows? I may have misjudged the Baron. It seems he is as well read as any university student. In truth, I am simply happy to speak with another well-educated man. Now then, did you earn your doctorate? No, I didn't. Only a master's degree. I started working toward a doctorate, but didn't finish. Hey, same hat. Same hat, Andreas. I don't actually have the same hat. That would have been pretty cool if I could pull out that same floppy hat, but we're in the same proverbial boat. Oh, that's a shame. Well, what was your area of study? Let's see. I did medicine last time. Imperial law. Theology. I feel like because we're pranksters, if you're going to be breaking the rules, you want to know the rules so you know how far you can push them. So I'm going to say Imperial law. Law. I suppose I thought I could practice in Nuremberg. I never had much interest in the subject, honestly. A bit dull for my tastes. Besides, the Empire is such a mess of jurisdictions. Bavarian law, Rhenish law, Franconian law, nonsense. I'd rather use my money to pay someone who studied the nonsense than learn it myself. You. If I had any faith, I would have prayed you'd never show your face here again. Curse you and Lorenz Rothvogel. Perched as dogs, tearing you to pieces would be too kind a fate. These rustic communities display a shocking lack of hospitality, don't you think? What was that about? Who knows? By the time I finish guessing, the old crone will probably be dead. Well, what of your early time in university? Every student must study the trivium and quadrivium, yes? The lower and upper divisions of a classical liberal arts education. Latin grammar, logic, and rhetoric with the trivium, and arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy for the quadrivium. Did you have a favorite subject? Could know Latin, could be a logician, an orator, a cultist, heavens and earth. I did logician, and I did heavens and earth, because we get to choose two of these. So it's which one I don't want of Latin, orator, and occultist. And I kind of want all three of them. We're going to leave out Latinist. The art of persuasion, naturally. Rhetoric. Ah, I assume you studied the Greeks and Romans both. Yes, Aristotle and Cicero, of course, but also Christian thinkers like Augustine and Thomas Aquinas. Augustine of Hippo, saint, an early Christian philosopher, theologian, and bishop, of Hippo Regius. He is recognized as a doctor of the church and is most known for his works The City of God and his autobiographic Confessions, as well as his development of the doctrine of original sin. Aquinas, an immensely influential philosopher, theologian, and jurist in the tradition of scholasticism. True, we have less use for public discourse than senators did in the Roman Republic. Exactly. The doctors of the church weren't trying to persuade politicians, but move the mind towards Christian truth. Still, the principles remain the same. Invent your arguments, then arrange, style, and internalize them before delivering them to your audience. Splendid. Though I suppose an artist has little use for rhetoric, especially in a place such as this. Not true. Rhetoric is also an art, and like other forms of art, it should be created for the audience and its purpose. It can be practiced as easily in the streets of a rural town as in the Curia of Rome. What's Rome? It's a seat of power for the Catholic Church and an impressive center for the arts. Well put. And your other studies? Was there anything else you excelled at? The occult. The occult. I used my access to the university's library to pursue more esoteric interests. Oh? Esoteric how? Mystical texts, books on alchemy, invoking spirits, divination. Purely academic, of course. Of course. I started with Ficino's Corpus Hermeticum, and my interests only deepened from there. Compilation of 17 religious and philosophical treatises encompassing the soteriology of Hermes Trismegistus, or thrice great Hermes. Trismegistus, we'll say. The centuries-old texts reflect Egyptian, Greek, and Jewish traditions and ideas, and were translated into Latin in the late 15th century by Marsilio Ficino and Lodovico Lazzarelli. I've definitely gotten every single one of these pronunciations correct, and I don't want to hear about people saying I haven't. Quite interesting, Andreas. I'll make some time to speak with you more on this topic during my stay. I look forward to it, my lord. Ah, there's the Abbey. I have good memories of this place, and of Father Matthias. I was sad to hear of his passing. How did you come to know him? How do you come to know of Curacao at all? My family have been patrons of Curacao for, I don't know how many generations. Some years ago, I heard that Curacao still had a wonderful library and artisans. Professional artists have taken over most manuscript production, so I was shocked to find an active scriptorium here. The artists that remain here are quite talented, if a bit old-fashioned. Well, Curacao is more than a bit old-fashioned. Some of my friends think I'm mad for commissioning a manuscript from an abbey in this day and age. But, well, my family have been patrons of Curacao for generations. It seems wrong to stop now while there's still talent here. I commissioned a manuscript through Father Gernot a year ago. I thought I would stop by and check on the progress. Wait, are you the artist working on it? It's a prayer book with 20 illustrations. I know the work, but no. I do know the artist well, the venerable Brother Piero. How venerable? He still has his wits and his skills, if that's what concerns you. Brother Piero has an incredible talent with color. Then I very much look forward to seeing it. Miklaus, tend to the horses and the baggage. I'm heading up to the abbey. Yes, my lord. Well, let's not keep the abbot waiting any longer. Nuns. Quite unusual for a Benedictine house to have monks and nuns, even if they are separated. Founded in the 6th century, the Benedictines are a Christian monastic order that observes vows of obedience, poverty, chastity, and stability under the rule of Saint Benedict of Nursia. The church closed most of them centuries ago. But then, Curacao is a place out of time in more ways than one. Do I want to press this? No. Why were they closed? Monks and nuns living side by side cannot behave themselves. I don't blame them, though. The church shouldn't either. It's just human nature, after all. Ah, you must be Father Gernot. I am Lawrence, Baron of... Yes, the Baron of Rothvogel. So wonderful to have you here again. We actually did meet on your last visit. Ah, if you say so. I am not good with remembering faces. Please forgive me, my lord, but I wasn't expecting you for another few days. Yes, I know, but I wrote ahead. I just couldn't wait to see my manuscript. I'm sure it's no trouble. Yes. I mean, no, it's no trouble. Did you want to see it now? Oh, in a moment. I could do with a bit of refreshment, though. May I grab something from the kitchen? Yes, certainly, my lord. I will meet you there. Andreas, I don't know what you were doing with the Baron, but I need you in the scriptorium. Now! Of course, Father. I'm eager to get to work. Then get to work. I'm so eager to get to work. Shit, I should have asked him about an advance for Gertner's taxes. Maybe I could convince Brother Matthew to pay me early. If all else fails, I could liberate some money from the sacristy. Getting right to work. No doubt about it. Not gonna do anything before I get to... Oh, it's a kitty. It's Mouse Finger. Oh, what a little baby. Sister Gertrude dries and stores all of her herbs here. God bless you, Master Mahler. How are things going in the nun's kitchen? I mean no offense, Master Mahler, but I cannot speak with men. Yes, absolutely correct. Game of the year, you can pet the cat. There's no better game. My apologies. God bless you. And you as well, sister. The many-petaled cinquefoil. It grows easily. So easily, some consider it a weed. Sisters certainly keep their garden well tended. And also welcome on in. Thanks for stopping by. God bless you, Master Mahler. Sister Matilda, how are you doing? Mother Cecilia doesn't like us talking to men unless it's necessary to perform our work. Forgive me. Sorry to bother you. Thank you, Master Mahler. Tassing is lucky to have so much woundwort naturally growing. I had to buy it back in Nuremberg. Let's pet the cat again. Yes. Thank goodness. The doors into the convent are locked to outsiders. Men, at least. You gotta comment on the cat, absolutely. A painting of Hildegard of Bingen, Mother Cecilia's favorite. Saint Hildegard of Bingen was a Benedictine abbess, visionary, mystic, and prolific writer on a variety of subjects, from theology to musical composition to medicine. God bless you, Andreas. God bless you, Mother Cecilia. Is there something I can help you with? I noticed that you took the sisters inside when I walked up with the Baron. What concern of it is yours? You said much in saying nothing. And now I will say even less. Good day, Andreas. Something. There's a story there. Feverfew. It always smells so fresh. That and its juices are especially good for hangovers. This door must lead into the rest of the convent. Not for me. What am I doing streaming? Well, it's time to go to the cathedral laser. I can't sleep anyway, not yet, so let's stream video game. I'm not Martin Luther, but I am a contemporary. I'm Andreas Moeller. What do we know about our friend Andreas Moeller? If I don't tell you, then it's paying for indulgences. There's our friend Andreas Moeller. Lived in Flanders. Was a bit of a rapscallion. And studied imperial law. Of course you should make cupcakes. I can't believe you're asking me that question. A Flemish scallion. You got it. Oh. Also studied rhetoric and a soul-endangering amount of theoretical and practical knowledge on alchemy, astrology, theurgy, necromancy, and various magical rites and ceremonies. It pretty much is VeggieTales. There's nothing in here that wouldn't be in a VeggieTale. Like a reliquary containing the hand of Saint Moritz, which is said to have once held the Holy Lance. Standard VeggieTale stuff. Also called the Spear of Destiny, or the Lance of Longingness. That there may be another pronunciation, but that's what we're going with. It is the lance that pierced Jesus' side on the cross. Many legends surround the lance, and several places claim to possess it. God bless you, Master Mahler. That's what they say when they just want you to go away, is what I'm coming to learn. God bless you, Master Mahler. How goes your work in the scriptorium? Very well, thank you. Oh, then I guess you wouldn't be interested in the saffron Agnes Steinauren received yesterday? There's Agnes. What? Saffron, really? Where'd you hear that? Sister Matilda saw her at the Albans. Her There's Sister Matilda. Maybe you can convince Prior Ferenc to get some for your yellows. Good to know. How's Mousefanger? Mousefanger? Fanger? She is around here somewhere, hopefully getting to the baby rabbits before Sister Matilda does. Until later, Sister Gertrude. Bless you, Andreas. Maybe I'll see you by the shrine of Saint Satya one of these days. Am I a good book boy? A little bit of a rapscallion, but apparently doing okay with the book illustration and illuminating business. I don't know what Matilda's going to do to the rabbits. That's a great question. Brother Matthew maintains the shrine along with some of the sisters who paint badges for pilgrims. God bless you. Brother Piero? No, wait. It's Master Mahler. I thought you couldn't see Sister Margaret. During the day, I can see some colors. How did you know it was me? You and Brother Piero both smell of the pigments you use. But you're taller, and you have another smell to you, like fish or burned almonds. That's old linseed oil, popular among the Italians, but Brother Piero doesn't use it. I'll ask Sister Gertrude about it. How are Sister Gertrude's herbs coming? It's too early to tell. Most of them won't be grown until May. Still, working with herbs suits me. Have a good day, Sister Margaret. God bless you, Master Mahler. All that was very important, and if the prior, the head of the church, asked me where I was, I'll say I was doing very important work. Hi, Rudger. God bless you, Andreas. Has your voice yet recovered from Easter Mass, Rudger? Oh yes, it was a bit of a strain, but a worthy sacrifice. Well, if the Lord could give us his all on Easter. Exactly. Have a good day in the scriptorium. Have a good day singing. Oh, that's where the money is. What is it you think you're doing, Master Mahler? Stare innocently. Stay away from the sacristy. You know you're not allowed in there. You know me. I just like to take a peek where I'm not allowed. What a uniquely fascinating and endearing trait. Stay out. Of course. My apologies. Thank you, Master Mahler. How do you call into a stream? You want to call in? I think I can do a thing. Hold on. We're gonna figure this out. It's gonna be very exciting. Okay. Let me see if this is gonna work. We're doing this live because why the heck not? Where's the button? Where's the button? That's the button. Paste. Oh, that's not. I should do this with the keyboard in hand. Master Mahler does want it. I've just added a browser source. Oh no, I don't know. Have I done that? I don't. Let me do. Yeah, yeah. I've sent you an invitation laser. We'll see how it do. Getting ready. Okay, I've done that. What do I do now? Slot guest. Send to guest slot 1. This is a very intuitive setup.
Hi, Josh.
Hello.
I didn't know this was literally a feature that Twitch had. That's
Twitch
crazy.
Twitch
I
has
love
recently
it.
added it. I'm trying to figure out how to actually make you go on the thing.
That's fine.
And we're having a good time doing it also.
I love to party. I was listening to that hot jam that was happening at chapel and I can't hear it anymore.
Oh, let me see if
Wah, 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 wah. That's how it went.
yeah, it went wah 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 wah.
How it went. I'm not live. I'm not live.
You're now live. You're on the TV. Oh no, I'm doubling it. Hold on. Why is it
Do
doubling?
you want me to be sideways?
Let me see if I can do a thing. I can change your input, but I need to figure out.
I can also change.
There was this thing that was like, hey, are you, oh, there's the echo fixie tip. Control audio and OBS. Aha. I may have solved it. Oh no. Oh no.
This is incredible.
No, there you are.
You're doing great work.
Thank you. I'm just gonna move you all around.
I'm in the chapel. I'm in the sacristy.
That's where you are.
I'm in the combination chapel and sacristy.
Perfect.
I just kept trying to talk back to my phone while you were talking to your game, but then I also wanted to be making cupcakes. You know what I mean?
I
And
do
it was
know
hard
that.
to do both of those at the same time.
Yeah. That's powerful and good.
Great. I'm so glad.
I have so many windows open and I don't know which one is good anymore. All right, there it is. I think I found the good one.
It's a big mood. It's a big mood.
I have 3 monitors and it's not enough. Okay,
No,
but
fair
I
enough.
think we're good. I think we're going to keep going. I think that we've just been told off for trying to break into the sacristy, which means we've got to
Oh, I
break into
can't
the
hear the music.
sacristy.
It's okay. You just tell me the vibe of the music every time.
Okay, the music is still going at the same level.
And you're gonna still have my audio, but I'm gonna go turn off Move Bim on my TV.
I
Because I
guess.
feel like it's gonna, yeah.
I
So
feel
I'll be
like it
back, but
clashes
just enjoy my
really
kitchen.
beautifully, but
It clashes so good. It hurts so good.
Brother Matthew's here. God bless you, Andreas. How is the sacristy today, Matthew? The same as yesterday? Does my vocation
And if
seem...
you were to say what a sacristy is, like for example,
Like, for example, for someone who was just wondering what it would be, I'm pretty sure it's place where
Yeah.
money is.
Okay, great. That's what I was gonna say, but I just wanted to make sure you knew.
Yeah, that's good. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Does my vocation seem silly to you, Master Mahler? I got two choices. No, I was just being friendly, or a little.
Ooh. So my understanding from the besties is that this game is not about like winning, really.
Correct.
It's about doing what you think is interesting or something.
Yeah. I mean, just like if you were doing a TTRPG, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
Dungeons and Dragons, you are supposed to win that.
Right, right, of course.
But for
Otherwise,
like,
why even play?
yeah, but for like a good TTRPG, then it's just you do what's interesting and fun.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So let's say a little silly. Your calling is
And
in the
what's his
world,
job?
Master Mahler. Mine is here. Even
And
if you
he's like a
find
surgeon or
keeping.
something, and that's why his job is silly.
So sometimes they'll have a little typo that they have to fix. And he said, even if you find keeping order in thick place foolish, the Lord does not. And he says, God be with you. And he's just done with me. But I need to ask him for money.
Well, he's a little bit busy keeping order in a thick place, if you know what I mean. So maybe
Yeah.
you should, you know.
Well, that means he's distracted. Maybe he'll be easier to persuade.
That's true.
I was hoping you could give me my pay for the latest manuscript early, please. This isn't part of the arrangement you made with Father Gernot. You'll be paid on the completion of each additional manuscript you illuminate, not before. Can't you make an exception this once, please? Not without good
Is this
reason.
how everybody in the game talks, or is that just this guy?
I've just gotta say please correctly, and the game's gonna give it to me.
Great.
This abbey runs through mutual agreements, not haphazard payments. Breaking such contracts would cause undue trouble not only for Kirsal, but for Tassing as well. The matter is pressing, Brother Matthew. For the love of another Christian, I beg you to make an exception, please? Very well. Do not ask this of me again, Andreas Mahler. Here you are. I shall note this with Father Gernot and Prior Ferry. Thank you, Brother Matthew.
Thank you.
God bless you, Andreas. Now I need to get back to keeping order in a thick place.
We found order in a big place.
All right. Now I've got my payment, I can give Clara the rent early.
Ooh.
I'll put it on the table in the evening to surprise them. Let's look at our friend the map. We've been to the convent in the upper left.
Okay.
We got a bunch of other places we could go. We're supposed to go to the scriptorium, but who has time for rules?
Where was the thick place?
The sacristy. It's
What do you think is the thickest place in this game? Can we go there?
the thickest place. I mean, like, is it the courtyard and lavatorium? Is it the chapter house?
Well, like emotionally thick.
Oh, emotionally
Right
thick.
now. Like the place that you would think would be the thickest, you know, for
emotional thickness. I mean, a crypt? That's the Old Bailey. Let's not go to the Old Bailey right now, because I don't want to.
That's such a good reason.
The foundations of the abbey were built when the Romans occupied this land, not long after the death of Christ.
Sure.
The tomb
Whatever you
markers
say.
go back centuries, all the way to the founding of the abbey. Abbot Dietrich, from the height of Curaçao's power in the 14th century. Those days have long passed. A lovely relief of
Josh,
a
I don't.
virgin and child. Shame it's hidden down here. That was it.
That's nice.
Now what? Huh, a secret entrance to the library. I'll have to remember this.
There's a secret entrance? Not, Josh, that's the.
That's so thick. Here's a nice pair of bells.
Oh, I see. Oh, those are nice. Can you ring them?
I can't. I would get in even bigger trouble than a scoundrel wants to get into. Because
Oh, okay.
everyone in
We'll
the
never do
town's
that.
going to hear it.
Oh, of course. Okay. Well, I've been trying to find my measuring cups, Josh,
Uh-huh.
but I can't. So I'm going to use these. They're also measuring cups, but they're not the ones I was looking for.
They're not the
Okay.
ones you like.
No, they're not, but that's okay.
I get that. I like that we have Pentiment and baking show. It's very good.
Yeah. So we're going to want to do this, okay?
When you're talking to Sabat,
Great.
you're going to want to pull out the measuring cup.
It's hugely important that you have a measuring cup when you're talking to Sabat.
Mm-hmm. Sabat says, God give you health, Master Mahler. Brother Sabat, I am surprised to see you still here. As am I, but I will be leaving soon, returning to Rome. I and my bishop regret that we could not reciprocate Father Rudolph's generosity earlier. He showed much kindness to our priests at the Council of Constance many, many years ago. What's the Council of Constance? Let's learn. It's the meeting of... It's the canola oil.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little beauty blogging.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It was a meeting
For
of
the
bishops
viewers.
that took place between 1440 and 1418 in the Diocese of Constance to end the Papal Schism. It was also notable for the condemnation and capture of the Bohemian theologian Jan Hus. And yes, Adam, thank you for knowing that it is the Council of Canola Oil. You're absolutely correct.
Hi, Adam. Now, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is that Jan Hus, the broad guy?
Say again?
How did they spell that? Was it Jan?
It was JAN space HUS.
You've checked.
Oh,
I
nice.
studied in the Czech Republic. I don't know a whole lot, but I know there was a big statue of him near the place where I got bagels.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
providing a lot of value. Don't you think I'm providing a lot of value, Josh?
You're providing all of the insight and value that can be found on the stream. I'm just here to read. Andreas says, will you remain in Rome? That is up to my bishop, but I will miss these mountains in any case. You should travel to Ethiopia, Master Mahler, and see the highlands. God has blessed my home with a wondrous beauty. I would love to, someday. I still need to return to Nuremberg and open my workshop. Yes, someday. Until then, if you are ever in Rome, I may still be around. Oh, it's a whisk. I would like that.
We're whisking.
I would like that whisk. By the way, if you have some time in the next few days, it would be nice to share a meal with you and some of the townsfolk. The townsfolk? I am accustomed to strange looks, especially in rural places like these, but I have had kind words with the baker and his wife. Oh, yes, the Albans, Ulrich and Gret. There's our friends Ulrich and Gret hanging out with,
Am I Ulrich?
You might be.
Can Ulrich be my Pentiment OC?
That's your Pentiment OC, please do not steal, because the Lord will not forgive you of this sin.
Yeah, thank you.
We got some party cats over here.
What? Did you draw those?
Probably. And then we got a demon eating a bird.
That's so good. I really like this. I mean, this is kind of a video game about you, Josh, right? Because you're a
Yeah.
writer and you're an illustrator.
Yeah. And this is what all my
And you're
books look like. If you get one of my books and it doesn't look like this, tell the president.
and your books all have a little video game inside them. If
Yeah.
you open it up.
It's like Myst. You open it up and there's a little 80 by 40 pixel video that plays.
It's pretty big for kids. I like that. Okay, I have to beat this vigorously by hand for 2 minutes. All right. So somebody, Adam, time me. That's good to do over.
Yeah, there's no problems with latency or anything.
Great.
I offered to tell a story to the children and their mothers over a meal someday. Gret seemed excited about the idea, but I would be more comfortable if you were there as well. I can certainly make time. Thank you, Andreas. I look forward to it. Gotta give you help.
No, does God give you health? Another way to say, don't talk to me anymore. It's like, God bless you.
I think it's a little bit of that, but it's a nicer way. It's like, hey, I think this conversation's done if you're okay with it. And then there's the just, God bless you, which is, get out of my face. What are you doing? Abbott House, do. God bless you, Andreas. See, we're getting that from Ferenc.
So rude.
Hi, Mirabilis. Mirabilis?
We did a really good job so far. Puppy! Can you pet it?
He's a
Can you pet it?
puppy. Hey, Gernot. Andreas. Such a warm reception.
Is that my wife? No.
If she got the tonsure. Here is cucumbers growing quickly. I'm sure whatever isn't eaten will be pickled. I think it's been 2 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Here I am, wandering around. And Adam also says, Laser, it's been 2 minutes. Hi,
Why don't I
Volkbert.
ever use a real timer? You know?
Yeah,
It's the only way to cook.
it's the Rachel Ray 30-minute meals approach. The apple trees have only started to bloom. It will be months before they bear fruit. Aww. What's going on in the dormitory? Oh, look at all these beds.
How long have you been playing this game, Josh?
I've been playing this game for an hour and a half, just about.
Oh, okay, so you're pretty early. In the
Yeah.
process.
This is still the first day.
Okay.
What is this? A Volvel?
Is that a Volvel?
I've seen these before. In astronomy. Astronomy, I should say, and medical tracts. What's this one for? 2 wheels. The top wheel has Greek letters and holes cut out to reveal Latin letters underneath. The outer edge of the lower wheel is divided into 4 sections, each bearing an elemental symbol. Greek, Latin, and elemental symbols. Yeah, that's also a Volvel. It's obvious someone with occult interests fashioned this. Ah, a
Uh-oh.
quarter turn of the upper disc aligns a different elemental symbol with the top of the lower disc.
Is this a secret Cthulhu game?
It might be a secret Cthulhu game, who knows? I wonder what it's for. A cipher of some sort? I need to investigate more. This has to be connected with something else around here. I'm not going to take it with me because I don't have an inventory.
I don't have an inventory.
Yeah.
What kind of game is this?
We do love a secret Cthulhu. That is... I mean, as long as Lovecraft doesn't show up, we're all good.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Yeah,
have...
none of these characters are problematic. Martin Luther, Yonkers, great guys, all of them.
Yeah, no problems. Speaking of people that aren't problematic, here's our friend. Good day, Andreas. How's your morning going, brother guy? I think on Bessie's they're pronouncing it Guy, but I'm going to pronounce it brother guy. Because I like to
I
pretend
love Brother Guy.
that his... I'm probably not descendant since he's here, but relation in the modern day, through the years and through many changes, is Guy Fieri.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Guy Montgomery.
It
I
might be
like
Guy
Guy
Montgomery.
Fieri a lot. It could be both.
It could be both.
He's like the joint ancestor.
Yeah. The hinge point.
He's what connects Guy Montgomery and Guy Fieri.
Adam says that brother Guy has a sibling named Sister Gal.
And that's Gal Gadot's ancestor.
Yeah. No, it's fine. More contracts for the abbot. Which would you rather be making, contracts or manuscripts? I honestly don't care, Andreas. As long as the abbot is impressed, he could have me write the first chapter of Genesis until Judgment Day. Does the abbot's opinion mean that much to you? The abbots and the priors both. You're lucky. When you're done with this, you're going home. I'm never going to see Burgundy again. I need to make the best of the next 40 years. Burgundy is a powerful former duchy of eastern France that became a province in 1477, known for its wine, art, monasteries, and courtly fashion.
Why does Brother Guy not get to go back?
Well, he's here in the monastery? I think it's a yeah, because they're monks. Yeah. I was trying to remember if monastery technically fits, but yes, they are in a monastery. I think the whole thing is an abbey, and they're in the part that is the monastery. Hey, Doc. God bless you, Andreas. How are you feeling today, Brother Adoc? Alway Mill? That's easy. I am well. Oh, does he like to do anagrams? I never talked to him that much. Well done, my son. It is early. I will give you a harder one later. I look forward to all of your anagrams, Brother Adoc. Literal nut. Yes, until later, until then. Literal nut.
Literal nut. I have a t-shirt that says that, I think.
Just get... That's gonna be... Next time you play TKO. Just literal nut, literal nut, literal nut. The only prompt you put in.
I'll do it, like, some of them with, like, different spellings, like with, like, a 3 for the E and stuff, but...
Yeah. I think that everyone would love that, and no matter the context, you will just be like, I get it. I know what we're talking about.
It's a literal nut. I mean, I don't know what there is to get.
Yeah. Andreas, God bless you. So good to see you. Good morning, Brother Piero. Good to see you as well. Literal nut. I
Wait, did
don't
you
like
really
this
just say
letter.
that?
Gotta keep up the literal nut. I don't like this letter. My bones ache. It means a storm is coming. Big Yor Gertner says that if you live here 10 or 15 years, you can smell storms coming. Brother Adok has been here long enough that we can always smell him coming. Brother Guy. Do not forget, Brother
Ugh.
Guy, the fate of the youths who jeered the aged prophet Elisha outside of Bethel. Are you comparing
Yeah,
yourself
don't
to a
forget.
prophet, Brother Adok? I'm comparing you to an impudent youth whom the Lord, in his ineffable wisdom, may choose to strike down.
Holy shit. Don't make fun of how bad I smell or I'll kill you.
I can tell Brother Guy to back off. I can tell Brother Adok to back off, or I can just chill, which I don't think fits the character at all. We're not going to stay out of this. And I
Gotta
think
hop
Brother
on in. Hop on in
Guy
there.
is just being a little bit of a snot, but also maybe Brother Adok is taking it too seriously. Do you have an opinion, Laser?
I thought that the joke I'm on Brother Guy's side on this one.
Okay, so calm yourself, Brother Adok. You're too sensitive to Guy's jokes.
Yeah.
I am old, Andreas. Every slight against me stings with the fire of 1,000 wasps. But I will pray to
It feels
God
like
for the strength to endure this wickedness.
okay, buddy.
Hang in there, bud.
Go make a
Well,
post on
everyone.
Signal about it, sweetheart.
Yeah. Everyone seems quite lively. I suppose this means that Prior Ferink is not overseeing us today. He was here, but then he heard Lawrence Rothvogel had arrived, and he hurried out like a little mouse. Ferink is so desperate to impress the abbot and nobles like Rothvogel. It's pathetic. You feign kindness to Father Abbot and our prior only to speak about them like this behind their backs. It's shameful. Oh no. Brother Rothvogel. This is his manuscript. I just realized that he will want to see his manuscript. How silly of me. Of course that is why he is visiting. Perhaps if you were younger and faster, you wouldn't need to worry so much about patrons' visits. So we could say, hey, don't worry about it. Baron's just one client. He doesn't get special treatment. We can say, hey, guy, you should show some respect. Someday, you know, you're going to be older and you'll want people to treat with your respect. Or we could say, hey, guy, watch your mouth or I'll give you something to worry about. And I don't think there's a choice.
Yeah, I mean, what's the thickest? You know what I mean?
What? Threatening a monk? What's wrong with you? You're the one mocking old men. What's wrong with you? Anyway, what's the problem?
Yes. Wait, fight.
The Baron is just one client. He has to wait like anyone else. Andreas, Baron Rothvogel is not like anyone else. He has powerful friends, including the Prince Bishop of Freezing?
Freezing?
Freising? Freising?
Oh, is he cold? Is he cold miser?
He's freezing. Religious and secular ruler of scattered territories in the Holy Roman Empire, including the lands containing Tassing and Kirsau Abbey. And also here's our friend.
Oh my god, I love them. That's my next tattoo. I'm in love. Oh, they're friends.
So many
What
friends.
you drew? Josh, you're so talented.
Thank you.
I wish there were more merfolk, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
know that
they
you're
wouldn't
trying.
let
You're
me.
doing.
They wouldn't let me put them in this one.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Just because they're not in the Bible
Yeah.
yet. I mean,
Not
they would
yet.
be in the Bible if you put them in. You know what I mean? You could. You
Yeah.
have the power to do that.
Yeah. Curacao is already out of favor. Father Abbott does not want to have to deal with more attention. Well, if Prior Ferrick isn't here, I'm going to work on my masterpiece until he arrives. No, that's right. I need to reference the Indermauer manuscript. That's a prominent family of the Swiss Confederacy and Austria, in case you were wondering.
Of course.
And there's our party cats again.
The thing I like about them is how much they like to party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's okay to say. I know it's not PC, but
Yeah. But you gotta speak the truth that's in your heart. What do you want, Andreas? A book? The Indermar manuscript? The Book of Hours? The Book of Hours is a type of illuminated manuscript that contains an abbreviated form of the prayers for the divine office in addition to other religious texts. Most are relatively plain, but wealthy patrons often commission lavish examples with elaborate illustrations. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
oh my God, it's my best friend. Bunny Night. I love Bunny Night.
Rabbit Knight, the shield has a face. Rabbit Knight got a sword that's as tall as them.
Do another one.
Big cat, little dog. Big cat, little dog. That cat's face looks exactly like a cat's face. Has all the whiskers you'd expect. I'm not sure. Is this dog? Is this because that tail?
It feels like biblically accurate lion. I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on there.
This is someone told someone about a lion, but they misheard half the details, and this is what we got.
Yeah, they were not really listening. It's a lion wearing one of those morph suits that with the muscles painted on the outside.
Yeah.
You know, like Mr. Slim Goodbody. Is that what Slim Goodbody is?
Yeah. This is what Slim Goodbody should look like, but it's been corrupted over the centuries.
Oh, it's Adam the Sack. I couldn't see it written so small on my phone. But hi, Adam
no.
the Sack. It's good to see you. I didn't know if it was an Adam. I knew it was.
And now you have the knowledge.
Is this live on my channel too, Josh?
No, it shouldn't be.
Okay.
I can double check that pretty easily, so I will do that.
That's cool. No, it's fine. I don't mind. I can.
Okay.
I like that this feature exists. That's cool.
Yeah. I think it's just, hey, you're a guest star, and you got your name on the thing.
And so Adam knows who I am.
Yeah, otherwise Adam would just be like, who is this?
Yeah, that's right.
Zdena says, your hair looks messy today. Did you get enough sleep? What do you mean? I mean, did you sleep alone, or why do you want to know? It would be nice to have something to think about during divine reading. You know, Lectio Divina is thoughtful reading of and meditation on Scripture. The practice leads to prayer and contemplation. It is a daily part of life in the Benedictine communities. Have you considered the Lord? You really are a cloud on a sunny day, Andreas. Could I just get the book? Ugh, that's all the way upstairs. Can't you get by without it? I'm sorry, but I really can't. I need to reference it for my work. Really? My feet hurt and the stairs are so steep. I'm just gonna ask Illuminata to get it. There's Illuminata.
The
There's the
original
party cats
Illuminati.
again. Sister Illuminata! Andreas needs a book and he's being inappropriate with me. Andreas? Sister Illuminata, I'd like to borrow the Indermauer manuscript, the Book of Hours. I'm not even going to bother with this. This is... I wasn't being inappropriate with her. That's not going to get me anywhere worthwhile.
No, denying it is it's complicated. She's a complicated person.
Yeah. Illumina says, yes, I overheard here. Please return it promptly. Andreas, may I see how your masterpiece is coming? Of course, your opinion is always welcome. Yes, the composition is lovely. There is a joyful spirit in your arrangement of the figures. The contrast of colors is also quite nice, rich and beautiful on their own, but not overpowering the scene. It doesn't feel right. I don't know why. It's an excellent interpretation of someone else's work. You know, that's what clients want. You know? You know? What do you mean?
So you
You gotta do what the clients ask. What do I want? Where am I in this work? I didn't know there was room for me in here. It is inescapable. We all put ourselves into our work whether we realize it or not. What does this painting represent? It's November. In November, we show peasants leading the pigs into the forest to forage on acorns before the slaughter. Andreas, peasants here are no longer allowed to forage acorns in the forest. Many great lords and abbots across the empire have forbidden it, even Father Gernot. What difference does it make? This is the way November is painted. But it is not the way November is. It's not November anymore, so this is not topical content. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, I really.
Oh, we're getting the Dutch angle.
Yeah, going full battlefielders on this.
Oh, I gotta see this. How are they looking?
I don't think they're done.
Don't want that soggy bottom. You're
I
back.
hope you didn't get busy. Adam's still here?
Storytelling, but in their most sublime form, these images illuminate a path to truth. It's most important to me that my clients are happy. They won't pay me for truth. Yes, but with God's grace, this book of ours will outlive us all. What will it say to those who see it in a future generation, centuries beyond our comprehension? Some will gaze deep into your lines and paint to seek a deeper meaning. What will they find? But you need not listen to my opinions. They are just the thoughts of one old monk. There is no place for the monastic scriptoria anymore. In truth, this room is a place out of time. Why is that? Why has Curacao kept this up for so long? Some people, some places have a difficult time letting go of the past. I am not among them. The creation of books of art is no longer the province of monasteries. So be it. More people will be able to write, more people will be able to read, and in so doing, be brought to truth. Welcome on in. There is something that's here to distract you from sleeping. We've got, usually a double feature is one after the other, but we got the double feature. I'm playing Pentiment, and Laser is making his muffins, right?
I'm making cupcakes, and here's the deal. They're
Cupcakes.
both about the invention of the printing press and how that both democratized religion and changed the way a lot of people thought about it.
Yeah.
Both the cupcakes and the game
Yeah.
equally.
And I think there will always be a place for artists like you and Brother Adoc, and also for cupcakes. Did I intentionally leave Brother Guy out of that list? Maybe. No, I'm not gonna toss Brother Guy any of these treats. It's kind of you to say so, Andreas, but you need not be concerned for me. I have lived a long life and am happy to have served the Lord. When he calls for me, I am ready. Time passes. Jingle bell, jingle bell. Where is the time gone? It is already terse. It's 9 a.m., one of the little hours of prayer. Terse precedes Mass and the chapter meeting.
Josh, I have a question.
Yeah.
When did they add multiple bells to Jingle Bells?
When did they add multiple bells?
Mm-hmm.
Well, back in the day, not everyone had multiple bells. And so, it was really once they invented and really had the widespread phonograph so that you could have the recording of a bell instead of having to get your own bell. So that's when they changed it.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just had forgotten that originally it was just Jingle Bell.
Jingle bell.
Thank you. Please continue.
Oh, too much talk. I must ask forgiveness for not honoring the rule. The Rule of St. Benedict of Nursia is a book of instructions for monks living together under the guidance of an abbot. Written in the 6th century, the rule provides the principles for living a monastic life. And also, whenever anyone mentions the rule, that means that you break the rule. And it's really funny.
I knew immediately the joke you were about to make, and it was hilarious to me. I just broke the rule.
You just broke the rule. Ugh. Until later, Andreas. Until later. So. Big stretch. Oh no. Oh. Andreas. Oh? He's got the thing. He wrote something. What's going on in here?
Did he just write, like, not after one of the commandments or something?
Well, I can't check it out right now. I've got to talk to Sister Illuminata. Andreas, what was that noise? Oh, I'm sorry, Sister Illuminata. I knocked a bowl of paint to the floor. But then Prior Farring came in, wrote in one of his books, slammed it closed, and left. He was in such a hurry, I don't think he even noticed me. He was slamming books shut? Prior Fairing should know better than that. Some of these manuscripts are quite delicate. He seemed to be in a great hurry. I think he is on edge since Baron Rothvogel arrived early, which is why books should not be taken out of the library unless it is necessary for divine reading or work in the scriptorium. Are you still mad at me for borrowing the Chronica Clara? Which, as we all know, is the clear chronicle, the history of the universe from creation to 1082, written by the Irish monk Marianus Scotus. No. Anger is not an appropriate response for a nun. But the fact remains that you tricked me into giving you that book for no valid reason. Not valid? Is it not valid to wish to see the work of one of the great Irish scribes? One who wrote masterworks that even now grace libraries in Cologne, Fulda, and Mainz? It might be Mainz. Those are
Oh yeah, that's German.
Those are some great cities. I guess. No, it's not. Not unless it pertains to your work or the abbot permits it. Now, if you'll excuse me. Wait, what's all this fuck about Lawrence Rothvogel? Why is Prior Fairing so nervous? Lawrence? I didn't know you were familiar enough with the man to use his Christian name. Anyway, I haven't dealt with him personally, but the Prior and Father Abbot have. I only know that he's purchased a number of the most valuable manuscripts over the years. And he paid enough to help the Abbey when we needed it. Like what? What did he buy? I can't remember. You know, I have my own responsibilities to attend to. How about this, Andreas? If you help me recover some missing books, I'll tell you what I know about the Baron. Of course, I'll help in any way I can. Thank you. It's for the good of the Abbey. Where should I begin? Out there, where you and your cohort have carelessly strewn books all around the scriptorium. I will tell you what books I'm looking for. Find them and return them to me. The first books are 2 volumes of the Aeneid. You know, the poetic epic, telling the legend of Aeneas, a heroic Trojan, who struggles to reconcile his personal desires with his destiny to found Rome. It was written in the 1st century BC by the Roman poet Virgil. Hey!
Okay, well, I'm gonna need all of the descriptions to be in that voice now.
Hey, you know that's what the Aeneid is. Reddish covers, 14 inches by 10 inches, 3 inches thick.
Hey, I'm giving you some context over here.
Hey folks, I'm here to tell you about Innsbruck and Nuremberg. Innsbruck inches or Nuremberg? Oh, I know the ones. They're among Piero's favorites. He keeps them by my desk. They're not his to keep. And there's a fair amount of wear on these, I hope you don't mind. Those volumes were old even when Piero started to make the copies. How long ago was that? 3 years? The Aeneid is not one of my favorite stories, but I understand why it appeals to Piero. Aeneas chose his duty to the gods over his lover, Dido. Do you think Aeneas' sense of duty appeals to Piero? We all have our vocations. Brother Piero takes his more seriously than most of the others in this abbey. You clearly take your chosen vocation seriously. Andreas, I didn't have a choice in my vocation. Few women do. Andreas has to think about, is it really that bad? Is being a woman that limiting? The jester in our
Andreas,
head
have a
says,
thing.
the jester says she's exaggerating, it's fine. And then the voice of reason says, how would you know? True, she knows her life better than I do. You're right, of course. I appreciate that you understand how limited our roles and our choices truly are. I don't know, Adam. Did Dido say that she'll go down with the ship? I definitely know the reference. I definitely.
Oh, Dido's the singer, and she went,
Oh,
I
okay.
will go down with this ship. I want to wave my white flag and surrender.
Even in stories, we are maidens to be rescued and wed, cruel seducers of men, or wizened crones. Like Dido, we ordinary women are merely tools in
Whoa.
the tales of men. We can never be the protagonists of our own stories.
I really thought that was two ladies kissing on the ground, but it wasn't.
I was hoping,
That's
but
very
no,
sad.
it's just a lady and a dude with some great hair.
Yeah.
No woman is exempt from that, from the empress to a nun. It is her lot. I suppose I understand now why you're not fond of the Aeneid. It's fine poetry, for men. Now, the books, if you please. Thank you. Next,
Illuminata is harsh, and I love her.
she is off on a very good foot so far. Wretched Garin. An Italian. Hey, we got an Italian chivalric romance written by Andrea de Barberino in the early 15th century. The titular character rises from impoverished origins to go on heroic adventures and discover his noble parentage. Originally published as a manuscript, it enjoyed greater success as a printed book. It wasn't until then that it got any respect. For me, Laser, your audio is great. I don't know on the Twitch side. So people in chat, if you would
Yeah.
say how Laser's audio is, that would be terrific.
I can't tell if it's coming through my head. It's using my headphones or my phone for
Yeah.
the audio.
I can't either. It seems I can hear you.
When I walked away, was it just as strong as when I was close, or did it seem like I was walking away?
I think it's probably through your headphone because I think it was staying
Okay.
the same.
Okay. Well, there you go.
And it's
Close
fine,
that
not
without-
super high quality, but it sounds fine. Sister Illuminata doesn't have the size of the ledger, but hopefully the description is enough. I know the one you're talking about. Brother Adoc was reading it. Can't check that right now. The beauty of this book truly belies its... Oh, you lost my... Oh, we lost Laser for a second. We'll see what happens. Please hold. Please hold. Please. Getting ready. Getting set. Oh, right. Slot guest. Oh.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I'm putting you on the stream.
Thank you.
Yeah. Laser's back.
Back and better than ever.
He's doing great work.
I didn't mean to do that, but my phone was also dying, so I think I dismissed a thing, and it was like, oh. Hi, Adam. Hi, Emily.
And the audio is clearer now.
Oh,
which
that's
is
great. Let me
in
see
my
it.
opinion. We've got a book here.
Yeah, okay.
And the beauty of this book truly belies its ridiculous content. I'm surprised the Abbey owns a copy.
Oh, what's ridiculous about it?
It belongs to Amadea Rusco of Lugano. It's a Venetian edition that's quite valuable. You know, Lugano, that highly contested Swiss market town located in the southwestern Alps. The Dukes of Como and Milan fought for control over it until it was claimed by the Swiss Confederation in 1513. Hey! He loaned
Listen,
it
you
to us
don't
5
have to.
years
You don't
ago.
have to tell me.
It was subsequently lost, and the abbot has received 3 letters about it. I've certainly seen the brothers enjoying it. That book is not appropriate for reading for Benedictine monks.
Is it pornography?
A baby is sold to pirates, raised a servant, then lives a life of adventure wooing princesses and fighting in tournaments. You forget the best part. In the end, Garin learns he has royal blood, the son of a duke. He reigns as a king and dies a pious hermit. What's not to love? Benedictines should be dreaming of reconciliation with our Lord, not lusty adventures. I suppose you're right. It's better suited for knaves like me. It's not my place to reprimand anyone for reading stories, least of all you, Andreas. Still, we must be on guard. Fantasy leads to temptation. Temptation has led to the downfall of many men and women. Sometimes, yes, but books like this, it's all the same type of fantasy, isn't it? To die better than we are born. And what's the problem with that? Why shouldn't a peasant dream of being a king? There is neither Jew nor Greek, neither slave nor free, neither male nor female, for you're all one in Christ Jesus. We may be one in Christ, but we are not equal in this world. It isn't this world you should be concerned with, Andreas. But, the book, Andreas, we must return it. Or would you like the abbot to receive a 4th letter? Now, this is one of those situations where the first option is probably technically correct, but I don't think it would help.
Yeah, it doesn't feel relevant in the conversation necessarily.
Actually, you wouldn't be considered liable under Bavarian law. I hate to see the brothers disappointed, but I understand. It's not my goal to deprive the brothers of their joy, but to return Amadea Rusco's property. The book, please.
I really like that whole time you were talking to her, you were stabbing somebody from a horse.
Yeah, just for fun. There's only
Great.
1 book left, and then you'll be freed from bondage. A dark red cover, 8 inches high, 5 inches across, 2 inches thick. Oh, I remember that. I believe Brother Guy was reading it. Now that I think about it, Guy has always been guarded about this book, like he was hiding it. Very good, please bring it here. What is this, anyway? Ah, it's in French. The soul that God touched, empty of sin in the first state of grace. What is this? Why are you asking so many questions? Just give it to me. Why won't you tell me what this book is? Because it's a dangerous book, Andreas Mahler. One the previous abbot tolerated in spite of a papal order to destroy it.
It's a Cthulhu book, isn't it?
Well, we do have some action going on behind the guy's head up there, so maybe he's a Cthulhu. 3 French bishops condemned the book. All copies were to be burned. Its author shared the same fate. What? Why? I don't know, Andreas. It isn't my place to question the judgment of 1 bishop, much less 3. And before you ask, no, I haven't read it, but I know it contains a dialogue between love and reason. So the book is dangerous. When did the bishops condemn it? Oh, they're flying.
Wait, what?
200 years ago. What? Why? Why is it still here? Because Father Matthias loved books. All books. He didn't want to see it destroyed. I can sympathize with him. That's fine, but Father Matthias is gone. It's not my place to question the former abbot's decision, but when Father Gernot learned it was in our possession, he wanted it destroyed. Must the book be destroyed? No one even knows that it's here. I do. So do Mother Cecilia and Father Gernot. Well, I refuse to give it to you if all you're going to do is destroy it. What? Why not? What are you going to do with it? I'm not sure. Hide it? Keep it safe? Give me that book or our deal is forfeit. I won't tell you anything about Baron Rothvogel. Alright, we got choices. We can ask her to consider the sound theological reasons for allowing the book to exist, appeal to her duty as the librarian of this abbey to not destroy it, compromise and promise to take it far away from the abbey, or you can just say, nah, take the book and burn it.
I don't want you to get rid of the book. I want to
Okay.
read it. So maybe 2 or 3?
Let's try and appeal to her duty as the librarian. My duty is to God and to the vows I made, to the rule. But what about the librarian's rule? The rule to protect books? No, you just made that up. Ah, dang, she saw through me. Consider the sound theological reasons to allow this book to exist. More sound than the... Cupcakes! Cupcakes! Delicious.
They're delicious. We did it. Good job, everybody.
Go team. I mean, who are you going to trust, them or me? The bishops or your good pal, Andreas Mahler? Thank you for making my decision so easy. Did you leave the university voluntarily, or were you expelled? Here's a compromise. I'll take the book far from the abbey, far, far away. I'll be gone by the time Father Gernot asks about it. If you like, you can say I stole it. I doubt he'll make a fuss about me stealing a book he wanted destroyed. I don't like this, Andreas. It feels wrong in my heart. I swear I'll take it far away. It's been out here for years. And besides, how could you have stopped me? I'm trusting you in this, Andreas, against my better judgment. Don't make me regret this. That's a fun sound. Oh, it's the crinkle crinkle.
I'm uncrinkling. Oh, sorry. I should have done this on camera. I'm such a bad beauty blogger. So I got myself some materials to make myself a birthday cake, and then I never made it because I didn't have the energy. But I'm making it now. So this is blue icing, and this is different blue sprinkles.
Love it.
So you're gonna go on a book adventure?
She said that I can smuggle it out of here, so essentially
Nice.
I'm just keeping that in my non-existent inventory for now. Now then, Baron Rothvogel. Quickly, though. I need to finish up here soon. She may only have time to answer one question, so I should choose carefully. He mentioned finding a copy of Historia Taciae. He said it had some scandalous details in it. Hey, Historia Tossier. An account of the early history of tossing. Kiersau's previous abbot, Father Matthias, had a copy. Baron Rothvogel bought another to the abbey as a gift and brought it along. Party cats, they're back. Party
My favorite
cats.
thing about Catholicism. Oh my God, I love them. They're having a conga.
Yeah. We love the party cats in this house. He also mentioned that Father Matthias had a copy and was looking for another to verify its contents. Do you know anything about the book? I have heard of it, but I have never read it, and I know little about its contents. The subject is broad, but I believe the book deals specifically with the Roman occupation of this land. What do you know about the Romans and tassing? I have no proper education on the subject. I only know the folklore passed between the locals in this community. And of course, the miraculous life of St. Moritz is intertwined with that of the colony. But you can always ask Brother Matthew about the saint. It's a story he's told hundreds of times. What do you think about the legend of St. Moritz? I've read many lives of the saints. The legends we have written and spoken about Moritz are quite familiar. Do you question their validity? Ideas transcend text, transcend stories. The legends are instruments to inspire us. God knows the saint's virtue. ... Well, I must be off for Mass. Thank you again for your help, Andreas. I suppose you'll be leaving via the crypt. ... I don't know why you were poking around down there like a grave robber, but that entrance isn't for you. One of the lords of the old keep must have had it built to escape in times of siege. It allows the sisters to access the library without distracting the brothers. Please do not abuse this knowledge. Maybe I could abuse it a little.
I mean, you know. ...
Don't. But what if I want to be a little stinker?
You're such a little stinker, Andreas.
Well, that's the bell for sext. The brothers will be setting down for dinner soon.
What?
It's a monastic hour corresponding to noon, one of the little hours of prayer followed by dinner. It's the hour for sexting.
What does the hour for sex sounds like?
Bong, bong, etc. I should see if Otto is around and still wants to eat with me. I think he's working by the guest house below the abbey. Hey, let's look at this book.
Yeah, let's look at the secret evil book.
I wonder what Prior Ferenc was doing with this book. From the Library of the University of Five Churches. The Hungarians call it... They call it PEX. That's just what they call it. They call it PEX. That's
because it's so sweet.
Doctor of Theology... Georg is not... Georg? Of Gran. Did Ferenc steal this? A text on astronomy, it looks like. I'm not familiar with it. Oh, we get to say bastard script. Burgundian? Flemish. Not from here and not recently. That's definitely Ferenc's handwriting between the lines and in the margins. Is he notating the text for the benefit of future readers? In any case, it's a thorough commentary. What's this? It looks scribbled, not like Ferenc to be so sloppy. He didn't even blot the ink dry. Libra, Capricorn, Aries? All astrological symbols. What's written below? Maybe I should have learned green at some point. I can't make any sense of this. Wait. The Volvel I found also has Greek letters on it. They must be connected. But how? The outer ring, the Volvel, is marked with the alchemical symbols. This cipher has astrological symbols. There's something I'm missing. I suppose I'll figure it out in due time. But I'll copy this down now to reference later.
Josh, it's like a puzzle like in a video game.
A puzzle in a video game?
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know how to connect the element symbols on the Volvel with the astrological symbols on the cipher. Until I figure out the rainbow connection, I can't decipher the note I found in Fering's book.
But someday I'll find it, the
Someday
rainbow
I'll find
connection.
I found the secret passage in the crypt. There has to be a book in the library I could use to figure this out. Sister Illuminata is there most of the day. Perhaps I can find a way in after dark. And if all else fails, perhaps I could ask Werner Stoltz. He lives off the North Commons. I have a sense he doesn't like me much, but I'll find a way to get the information out of him. Gotta make a persuasion check. Where am I going? I'm going down to the house.
It's frosting
The
is delicious. Frosting very good.
Frosting very good. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, you hate it when the frosting's bad, you know?
If the frosting's bad, that's just a sad day.
It's just like, what are we even doing, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So important.
I love that you can touch all the animals. This is a good video game.
It's a great video game where you can pet the kitty cat.
You're adding a lot of unnecessary stuff when you could just be going around petting the cats and stuff.
Yeah. Like, why would I want to talk to Martin where I can pet a cat? Go away, Andreas. Can't you see I'm busy? You know, if you're looking to pilfer from the Baron, I recommend smaller valuables. What? What are you talking about? I'm not. What advice should we give to this young entrepreneur? The Baron wanted to keep his riches on the first floor. Small items are easier to trade or sell, or you shouldn't be standing out here.
I mean, the second one feels the most true.
Yeah. Small items are easier to trade and sell. Understand? I wasn't going to... Shh, stop talking about it. It's been a busy day. I'm having a break, enjoying the sun. Nothing more. Wink. Understood, Martin. Go away, Andreas.
That Martin Luther?
I can give you a cut of the sale if you just stop talking and get lost. Half the money or I go tell on you right now. Not gonna do that. How much? Or I don't need your money, but thank you for the offer. I'll leave you to it. I mean, I already shook down, the church for some money, so I don't need the money right now. I'll leave you to it. Yes, please, go away. Oh, it's our friend Otto. Hey, Otto. Good day, Master Mahler. Ah, Andreas, good to see you. I trust Clara gave you my message. Afternoon, Andres, Otto. Clara did give me your message. Sorry I missed you this morning. I was still asleep when you came by. Ah, the abbot really lets you get away with anything, doesn't he? Leave him be, Otto. I'm hungry. Let's pray. Bless us, O Lord, and these your gifts, which we are about to receive from your bounty. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. 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 Now this is the most important part of the game after we answer this question. Coming up soon. How did the morning treat you? Not too bad, thanks. I hurt my damned hand splitting timber to replace a bad beam in the abbot's house. Laser, this is so important. Which one do we eat first? We've got sheep's milk cheese, we've got rye bread, and we've got almonds.
Okay. Well, I think probably bread first. No, almonds first.
Start with the almonds. Get that protein going.
Yeah.
It's not that bad of an injury. It just galls me to see the abbot bleeds us dry and we're expected to do work here when it suits him. Do you follow that up with a cheese or a bread?
I mean, I think either one is a good choice.
Yeah. Well, which one do you want to eat last?
I think cheese last, right?
Okay, let's go with the bread. No, it's not all that bad. I get a lot of good work from the abbey. Casting pilgrim's badges isn't really smithing, but I don't mind.
Hey, I'm streaming.
And then we got cheese.
I have to go.
Bye. Thanks for stopping by. We did the thing. And now I'm gonna wrap up this this sesh. Anyway, I saw you walking with that Baron Rothvogel in the meadow on your way up here. What was that all about? I'm not on the right window. None of these are wrong, is the thing. As far as I can tell, he's come to terrorize the people of Tassing and Kirsau. No, right, I saw him get into it with Lucky this morning. I'm not one to gossip, but that can't be good for anyone. Oh yeah, there's Lucky. There's our friend Lucky. There's my nightmare. There's my dream come true. And there's my friend. Odd. I've been in a fair number of scraps, and I know the type of man that will look for any excuse to fight. Lucky doesn't seem the type. No, you're right. Lucky doesn't look for fights. But when fights find him, he's not the one lying on the ground at the end. If he was arguing with Rothvogel, he must have had good reason. It seems like the Baron left more than one bad impression on his last visit to Tassing. Father Matthias knew him well, but he had misgivings about the man. What kind of misgivings? That he fools around with young women. He's married, of course. Otto, that's only gossip, and it isn't Christian to spread rumors like that. It's not gossip that he beat up a farmer a few years back, old Rannig. May he rest in peace. Well, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But if he did that, yes, it speaks poorly of his character. We had a long conversation on our way up, but he didn't mention anything about that. What did you talk about then? I mean, no offense, but what does a nobleman have in common with an artist? He could sense my inherent moral quality, Otto. Right, Saint Andreas in the flesh. As if a rich bastard like him has any sense of virtue. This bitterness and envy are not good for a Christian's souls, Otto. It's not envy, Andres. No one should get away with what he does, what this abbey does. No offense to you, Andreas. I don't have any problem with the books the abbey makes. I mean, I never did learn to read, but if people are paying the abbey to make them, it doesn't bother me. No, I understand. I see why people resent the abbot's rule. He's a harsh lord. Oh, Otto, did you see that the Bower's sheep escaped the grazing fields again? No, but I'm not surprised. Martin was supposed to fix that fence, and he probably did a bad job at it. Let's take a look at our buddy Martin again. Hey, my friend. He's always in a foul mood, and he could be the laziest soul in Tassing. He can't even hold a hammer properly. Married and a father at such a young age, and he barely lifts a finger for his wife or child. On top of that, he's a damn thief. Before you say it, Andres, there's more than just gossip. Look at him over by the guest house. He's probably figuring out what he can steal with the least amount of effort. Yeah, he's just a boy. He still has time to change. I've never known a thief to change, but maybe his responsibilities will make a man out of him. Speaking of the Bower's sheep, their ewes are shorn and the women will be spending in soon. Otto. I got it, Andres. No need to tease. What God wants to happen will happen. Looks like a storm's coming. We should probably get back to it. Right, I'll catch up in a moment, Andres. Andreas, say hello to Eva for me if you get a chance. I'll try to remember. I should return to work in the scriptorium. Until later. I'll get back to work. Hey, y'all, I gotta take a quick time out. I gotta go bathroom. So, we'll be back in a sec. You may be asking, why did I turn off the webcam when I was just going to change the scene? And the answer is, I forgot I was going to do that. But we're back now. We're gonna keep going. We're at least going to get to a certain moment that's not too far from now. How's it going, Martin? What? God be with you, Andreas. Hi there, horses. To you as well. God bless you, Andreas. Hello, Brother Matthew. What are you doing out here? I thought you were aware that in addition to my role as Kirsau's sacrist, I tend to the shrine of St. Moritz. Sacreds. He is the patron of Tassing and Kirsau both, so it is my duty to ensure his reliquary is well cared for. The shrine is always beautifully kept. Whenever I visit, I always leave inspired. The martyrdom of St. Moritz provides inspiration to us all. You are familiar with the life of St. Moritz, are you not? Now, I've been so focused on my masterpiece, I never had a moment to learn about St. Moritz. Well, you ought to learn something about Tassing's patron saint while you're here. By all means. St. Moritz is most widely known for his martyrdom at the hands of the Romans. He protected a town of Christians from slaughter, and in turn, he and his legion were decimated. What do you mean, his legion? Wouldn't that mean he was a Roman soldier? Yes. He was a Roman citizen and led a legion made up entirely of Christians into Bavaria. When he refused to kill the Christians, even though they were traitors to Rome, the emperor had his legion massacred. Welcome on in, Yeshua9. Thanks for the follow. Most of the pilgrims who visit come knowing only this, if anything, about his life. However, Tassing venerates St. Moritz because he was the one to convert the town and save it from destruction. Tassing was pagan? I had no idea the town was so old. Indeed, he and his legion were snowed into this pass, and the townsfolk refused to aid them. The daughter of the town's leader, Satya, was moved in spirit and snuck from the town to convert. She led Moritz to a spring, and as soon as she was baptized, the snow melted, revealing all manner of fruits. Moritz and his legion were saved by these miraculous gifts, and the town was converted, and the rebels fled into the mountains. What happened to Satya? She too was martyred for her faith by the rebels inhabiting the town. Now her shrine protects Tassing from harm. What an astounding story. Thank you for the history lesson, Brother Matthew. You are welcome, Master Mahler. God bless you. Until later, brother. it's the badges and stuff. That's a reliquary containing the hand of St. Maurice, who is said to have once held the Holy Lance. Hi, Carl. Oh, hello, Andreas. Hello, Carl. You seem busier than usual today. I am behind in my work. I went up to the shrine of St. Maurice this morning to pray for his aid. The candle I lit had all but burned away. I was there so long. Now I need to catch up. Your dedication to St. Moritz is impressive. Oh, well, truth be told, I only started going to the shrine more often when Helena became pregnant. Her mother had trouble in childbirth, so I've been paying visits to Moritz's hand and Satya's shrine to pray for their aid. I hope that the saints hear your prayers. Thank you, Andreas. So do I. Ludger singing again. God bless you, Andreas. God bless you, Ludger. Just checking things out. Gotta do my patrols. You still doing alright, Sabat? Gotta give you help. Thank you. And also with you. Brother Adok, this work. I don't know where to start. Inconsistent spacing, rough strokes. You're working like you want to see this place closed. Brother Prior, I am working to the best of my abilities, and I dispute your criticism. I may not be fast, but I still have my talent, praise be to God. And Brother Guy, why are you still on this page? What's wrong with you? Normally you're so reliable. Many apologies, Brother Prior. I will work harder. Piero, I can't believe this. Baron Rothvogel has come to check on his progress, and this is all you have? You should have finished this months ago. Is your mind so corrupted by age that you didn't notice the seasons have changed? Well, you're not the one who will have to answer for it, so why should you care? Typical. Do I want to cause a scene? Of course I do. I'm a rapscallion. God, shut up, Baron. Stop taking your frustrations out on an old man. You impudent knave! How dare you speak to me like that? I am the master of this scriptorium. It is my place to run this scriptorium as I see fit. I agree, Brother Prior. Brother Piero's work is unacceptably slow. You are insufferable, Brother Guy. Oh God, give me the patience to endure this. Please, everyone. This is my work, and I accept responsibility for it. Prior Ferrig is right. Prior Ferrig, is this mine? It must be, yes. It is, my lord. I can No, I don't want excuses. I've come all this way, and I have to be honest. I expected more. It's nowhere near finished, and the style is... well, it's very old-fashioned. I thought I made my desires clear. I feel like my generosity towards Curacao is being taken advantage of. Am I Bobo the Fool in this sad story? No, of course not, Lord. Never. We can fix this, of course, of course. We only want to accommodate you. Ah, Andreas. Good to see you again. How should I respond to this? The abbot already seems annoyed. Just nod, don't irritate the abbot. Simply addressing him as my lord would be appropriate. Greet him by his Christian name. You are brothers and comrades in art, hee. And acknowledges him respectfully without being overly familiar. I don't care. I don't care about the abbot. Good to see you, Lawrence. My lord, if you please. Father Gernot, why not have Andreas complete the rest of the illustrations? He's clearly capable. Well, my lord, why not have Brother Guy complete it if speed is your No, I'm not talking about the script, that's fine. But the art, the illustrations. I want Andreas to do the others. Of course. I mean, if Andreas is alright with it. If it takes the pressure off of Brother Piero, I'd be delighted to complete the work. There we have it. I hope this allays your concerns, my lord. Excellent. By the way, Father Abbot, am I still welcome at your table for supper? Naturally, my lord. Wonderful. I'd like Andreas to join us. No, well, that would be quite unusual. Unusual or not, I doubt that my good friend the Prince Bishop would deny additional guests at his table. What do you think? I understand. Yes, you're right, of course. Andreas may join us for supper. I look forward to it. You had this planned. You must have put your hook in the Baron this morning when you ambushed him in town. Why are you mad at me? I'm trying to help. Brother Prior, Andreas is not to blame for any of this. I am. Yes, you are, and you've embarrassed me, the abbot, and the abbey. Prior Ferenc is right, of course. No wonder we don't get more commissions. Guy, can you stop flattering the prior for 1 minute? You're so insincere and you're so obvious about it, Guy. Brothers! If you please, Sisters Dana and I would prefer if you could keep the noise down. It sounds like Samson slaying the Philistines in here. Of course. Get back to work, everyone. Well, that was not wonderful, but there's nothing to be done about it now. I'll finish my work here and wash up in the lavatorium for supper at the abbot's table. Time passes. Andreas, I'm so glad you'll be joining us for supper, though the circumstances are unusual, to be sure. I won't be able to speak with you. None of the brothers will, but it will be good to have you with us. It's a shame. I always enjoy our talks. Now, the same doesn't apply to you at the abbot's table. You can talk all you like. Though I wouldn't recommend it. Father Abbot does not look kindly on idle chatter. I wish you could take my place, Brother Pierre. You deserve the honor. Anyway, I'm sorry for how the prior treated you. It's not fair. It's humiliating. Oh, no, my son. Or my con. There's no need to worry about me or my pride. And we all need a taste of humility from time to time to keep our feet on this earth. No, Andreas, you are my pride. I cannot claim to have taught you much, but I am proud to have known you and your work. And when you leave all of us at Kiersau Abbey behind, you can call upon your friend Lawrence, the Baron Rothvogel, to help you in your career. He's wrong, you know. Ferenc is wrong about you being slow. Don't trouble yourself over it. Time passes for us all, things change, the future will ride over the present. You need not fear it, any of it, so long as you remain true to yourself and God. Now I must hurry to the refectory and join my brothers. I will see you inside. Andreas, glad you could join us. Thank you, my lord. Father Gernot, Father Thomas, Prior Faring. Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Oh, the Gospel of Matthew. Wonderful. Jesus replied, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it." Have you read Matthew much, Andreas? Some, yes. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Then he ordered his disciples, not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. That reminds me, Father Gernot, have you read anything by Martin Luther? I can't say that he has some incredible ideas about the church. Brilliant, I think. My lord, is the meal to your liking? I believe I remember you enjoying our quail on your last visit. The quail? My God, Father Abbot, the quail's fine, but don't you think the Luther's ideas are worth discussing? He's talking about the future of the church, shaking things up in a way I don't think we've seen before. Father Thomas, you see the values in his ideas, do you not? My lord, I mean no offense, but I do not. Brother Matthew, yes? How appropriate. What are your thoughts on Luther's attacks on the church's sale of indulgences? Baron, please do not involve the other brothers in this conversation. Fine, fine. What about Andreas? Certainly a man who attended the same university as Martin Luther can spare some thoughts on his work. Oh, he's really putting me on the difficult position. Why not join in a debate? It may bring everyone closer to understanding truth. Because the abbot will be furious with me, that's why. Why not? Where should we start? A debate, excellent. Why not start with the 95 Theses? Enough! Andreas, you should know better. Lord Rothvogel, you are our guest and held in high esteem, but you have worn out my patience. We will not be discussing Luther's work with Andreas, Thomas, Matthew, or any other brother. Is that clear? I suppose, Father. It is your abbey, but you're taking too much offense at this, and you're far too afraid of change. Whether it's from Luther or someone else, reform is coming to the church. You had better accept it. What? Neither you nor Martin Luther dictate change to the Holy Church on their whim. This talk is beyond insulting. It's blasphemous, outrageous. How dare you? I see. I have overstepped my bounds, and I suppose I've ruined everyone's supper. My apologies. In spite of this unpleasantness, I will make good on my manuscript payment and the donation of my copy of Historia Tasse. If you cannot accept what the future will bring, perhaps it's time for you to come to terms with your past. Well, no need to overstay my welcome. Fathers, brothers, Andreas, good night. Why, Andreas? Why did you engage him? I expect better of you. Now then, I must ask you to leave so I can speak with the brothers in the chapter privately. Brother Piero, please accompany Andreas out. I will take my leave as well. Good night. Don't worry about Father Gernot and the Baron. I'm sure it will all be fine by morning. I hope Father Abbot can see that the Baron's heart is in the right place, even if he picked the wrong time to express himself. That seems unlikely. It may be so, but we must never lose hope. In any case, I do hope the Baron respects the Abbot's wishes for the rest of his stay, for everyone's sake. Brother Pierre, what do you think of Martin Luther's ideas? Ah, that is for younger and wiser men than me to decide. I am just a monk, thank God. Good night, my son. Compline. I should get some sleep. This isn't a night for sleeping and sneaking into the library, I guess, then. Unless... Kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Oh, good kitty. Gotta pet the kitty cat. Hey, Sister Cecilia. Maybe Mother Cecilia? God bless you, Andreas. God bless you, Mother Cecilia. Is there something I can help you with? No, my apologies. Until later. It's locked. I can't go in there. There's the lamp still burning in the guest house. Lawrence must still be awake. I wonder how he's doing. What was he thinking? He's a baron, but he couldn't have expected that to go well. The storm doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon. I should get back to the Gertners. Can't go in there. I'm not allowed. It is forbidden. Huh? Yeah. Are you alright, Master Mahler? I believe I may have just seen the physical manifestation of a spirit. Sometimes the game does intentional typo. This isn't one of them. I believe I may have just seen the physical manifestation of a spirit. The ghost? Yes? It could be a Roman, maybe even an old pagan. Wouldn't be the first time people have seen ghosts around these parts. Have you ever seen one? Usually around the ruins. Who knows how many restless Romans lie beneath those stones. Well, I think I found Johann's last lost sheep. I'm going to head home. Take care, Master Mahler. I will. Nah, you too. Irises. Beautiful. There's an owl. There's an owl up there. What great news. horse! Pale horse! Still on the floor! Hello? Are you alright in there? Matins! Matins! The pale horse! Death! Monastic hour corresponding to 2 a.m. It is used for the night prayer. Sister, listen to my voice. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Yes? Yes, Father, I hear you. Am I here? Is this now? Yes, you are with us, and this is now. I apologize, Andreas. I imagined that must have been quite alarming. Is she alright? She is, yes. Sister Amelie is a mystic, gifted with visions when God sees fit to give her one. Some are more frightening than others. How long has she been here? She's been sealed in the cells next to the church for almost 10 years now. If you came to Mass more often, you would see that I give her communion through a window to her cell. Her cell? She is an anchoress, a religious hermit so devoted to God that she has enclosed herself in a cell next to the church. She is dead to the world, but continues a life of prayer and religious contemplation. And sometimes, ever so rarely, she receives great and terrible visions. Is she local to Tassing, or was she a nun at Kirsau? Neither. She came here from a Benedictine abbey in Lower Bavaria after it burned down. Hey, Bavaria! Powerful duchy in the southeastern Holy Roman Empire. It is east of Swabia and north of Tyrol. Tassing and Kirsau sit in the extreme south of the duchy, near the border with Tyrol. I am her confessor and caretaker. Many anchoresses are not literate. I write down her visions to help interpret them. I thought all the monks and nuns at Kirsau could read, even poor Brother Volkbert. Thank you, Father Thomas. I must rest now. Of course, sister. She seems unhappy. She is not unhappy, but she is in pain, both physical and spiritual. Her spiritual pain comes from her revelations. They come and go. I try to address them as best I can. The physical pain comes from a deformity in her spine and aching in her joints. I know of no cure for that, save prayer to the Almighty. Sister Amelie was saying she had a vision of death. Could someone be in danger? Oh no, don't rush to judgment. Her visions are divine and powerful, but they could have many meanings. Some of her revelations take years to comprehend. Some may never be understood at all, as God wills it. Still, the argument at dinner was quite troubling. Perhaps it has cast a shadow over our thoughts. Now then, the good sister appears to have fallen back to sleep. I must prepare for bed myself. Good night, Andreas. Good night, Father. Oh, what a good boy. Oh, what a good puppy. Glass windows, probably made in the Low Countries. This looks like a Dutch windmill. What's it doing in Bavaria? A child's drawings. I wonder who the artist is. Collapsed. This must have allowed access to the aqueduct. Excuse me. Cohen's family keeps beehives for the honey and wax. Not just one, it's for both of them. Everyone's asleep. I'll set the coins on the table so Clara will be surprised in the morning. Should really close up. It's getting late, I should get some rest. Time to get back to work. It's all right, Ursula. Good morning. Do you need any help with Ursula? No, a little crying won't hurt her. Besides, I think we've gotten almost all the leaks now. Ursula is my first child, and she's been a handful, but I think I have the hang of it now. Big Jorg has been a godsend. He helped Christine with Ava when she was a baby. I never took you for a family man, Andreas. I have 2 older brothers, both married, so there are plenty of nieces and nephews for me to play uncle to. I appreciate the offer. You'll make a fine husband someday, Andreas. Ugh, when will this storm let up? It's been going all morning. Peter and Jorg are outside trying to deal with the flooding as best they can. Oh my, is the farm in danger? There's always a danger with this much rain, but we've lived through worse. Whatever happens, it will be as God wills it. We must have faith in Providence and endure what is to come. Oh, I have some food for you. Here. Sorry I couldn't prepare anything more. Thank you. I appreciate everything you do. It's sweet. Otto asked me to say hello. He's probably courting her. We're gonna be a little rapscallion. So what? They're not married, are they? Neither are you. Yet, why not test the waters? Hee hee. If I came between Otto and Ava, that would be pretty awful for everyone involved. Thank you. I appreciate everything you do. It's sweet. Oh, well, it's nothing really. No, I mean it. You'll make a good wife someday. Kind of you to say. This is getting into more of creepier territory than I'm comfortable with even for a rapscallion. Like, it's not super creepy, but it's getting to it. Because you know what? Andreas is a scamp, but he can always make time to say a kind word to anybody if they're being nice. Well, I should be up. Have a good day at the Abbey, Andreas. Try to stay dry. Thanks, you too. Good luck. Be good, Ursula. Oh no, he disappeared. He's a ghost. Andreas. Some storm, huh? Is it always like this? Every year, but the last few have been worse. This is the 3rd time I've had to fix the wall this year. This is the way it always is. Rain falls on the Abbey and rolls downhill to us little people. Well, it's hard to blame the Abbey for that. That's just how rain works. There's a reason we're down here and they're up there, Andreas. Anyway, I have to get back to this. See you later. Hello, Andreas. Good morning, Interest. So, Otto and Ava, huh? Yes, what about them? come now, tell me juicy details about what's going on between them. I'm not a gossip, Andreas. I do not ask this to pour water onto the rumor mill, but for concern I have for the happiness of my friends. Of course, Andreas. Fancy talk for being nosy. Well, if you ask me, I think Otto's being a bit too slow about it. Oh? He's old enough already not to be smitten like a boy. They both like each other. Seems to me, if you found the right person, you should go for it. That's what I would do. What stopped you? Well, that's, personal. You can trust me, Andres, aren't we friends? That's what the gossipers always say. But we are friends, I can't deny that. I, do hope to find someone to have at my side as we build a family. God has not given me this blessing. Worry not. It could happen at any moment, Andres. One hopes so. Now I must get back to my work, Andreas. Enough talk. Until later. God be with you, Andres. Seems like we have a good spring storm, though I hope it lets up soon. Good morning. I'm sure it will let up soon. As God wills it. Alright, I paid Gret for last week's pumpernickel. Sorry to make you wait for it. It's no trouble at all. Please say hello to Lucky for me. Of course. Now I'm off to home and then to the Pfeiffers. Good morning, Agnes. What's going on with the Pfeiffers? Helena has about a month to go before her child is due. Her last one was hard. He didn't make it, God rest his soul. I just want to give her the best chance she can have. It is in God's hands. Trust in Providence. Always, Ulrich, but I'll do what I can to help. Why make the Lord do all the work? I must be off now. Good day to you both. And Andreas, stay out of the rain. Tell Helena I will pray for her health. She will appreciate that, Andreas. Thank you. Until later. Until later, Agnes. More ruins? I wonder if they're from the old Roman colony. Woundwort. We already looked at Woundwort. Lucky to have it growing here. I had to buy it back in Nuremberg. Hold on. Schlau. Hello, Schlau. Oh. Thank goodness we met Schlau. No, we're passing this way again. Father, I've said this before, but it isn't good that the water drains here so quickly. It's affecting the foundation. It needs to be looked at. I understand, but if you dig here, you may be disturbing the bodies decomposing in the yard. Of course, Father, but they're going to be dug up back up again anyway. Yes, but why disturb them unnecessarily? It's your church, Father, but you can't put this off forever. The foundation is going to crack. I understand. Perhaps after some of the bones have been moved to the ossuaries. Thank you, Lucky. Ah, good day, Master Mahler. Good day, Father Thomas. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. Oh, worry not. Lucky was just reminding me of the dangerous severe rainfall composed of the foundation. God looks after his flock, but sometimes the pen requires an earthly hand. You'll be taken care of. God be with you, Andreas. And with you, Father Thomas. Until later. Starting to get sleepy, but there's a big moment come up. I want to get through that part at least. Hello there, Master Mahler. Hello, Till. Bumped into any ghosts lately? Have you ever seen a nicer view? Don't get sights like this in the cities, I expect. I can't say that Nuremberg has many Roman ruins, no. Oh yes, Tassing is full of them. Quite the marvels they are. I don't pay much mind to the writing on them. I can't read Latin myself, but you might enjoy giving them a look. If you do, you'll have to tell me if they match the old legends I read about. What sort of old legends? Well, when Father Matthias was abbot, he would let me borrow books from the abbey's library. I think I read through half of that library before Father Gernot became abbot. Change the script, because he can read. He and Father Thomas are strict about which books should be read now. Books should glorify God, they say, and not discuss the old pagan ways. Still, the accounts of the Romans in Tassing are my favorite. That old book talked about how the Roman knight Gaius Metellus defeated the, Caeti, I think it was? It might be Raeti. Heavy snowfall had him caught in this very valley, barbarians on all sides. When Mars sent a wolf to the knight. Instead of killing the beast, Gaius followed it to a magical spring with trees covered in all sorts of fruit. Mars provided the wolf and the spring, and Gaius Metellus found Tassing after defeating the barbarians to honor Mars. That's where all this came from. It sounds a lot like the story Brother Matthew told me about St. Moritz, without the Roman gods, of course. I hadn't thought of that. Both were stowed into this valley, weren't they? And saved near a spring. I wonder if it's the same story. No, I don't know about all that, Master Mahler. A lot of stories get mixed up over the years. It might all be fable, but I enjoy the story all the same. It's nice to feel you're connected to those who came before you, even if it's only by the land you live on. Wise words, I feel the same. It's been good chatting with you, Master Mahler, but I'd better get back to work. You let me know if you find any particularly good books in that library, alright? I will. Until later, Till. Martin? Hey, Martin! Hey, Andreas. I found the shit. Achoo! Godspeed, you little thief. I should get to the scriptorium. Gernot will give me an earful if I'm late again. God be with you, Andreas. Are you still preparing to leave, even in this weather? The weather is unfortunate, but the Baron's wife, Lady Salomea, will be arriving today. My lord intends to depart as soon as she arrives. How long have they been married? 7 years now. She's a fine woman, a true lady. I was hoping to bid farewell to the Baron before he leaves. And I'm sure he would appreciate that. He spoke highly of you before he went to bed. He was glad you were willing to debate him at supper, even though he's sure the abbot will hold it against you. The abbot is too conservative. I find it's best to ignore him. Well, I wouldn't want to anger an abbot, but I'm just a servant. Would it be fair to say that I found the Baron's favor? It would. My lord bade me give you a token of his friendship in his absence. He says it's a small thing compared to future commissions, but he hopes that you will wear it with pride. What an extraordinary pin! Please thank the Baron for me. In fact, I'll wear it right now. Many thanks. As you wish, of course. Where's your master gone, then? He went for a walk early in the morning. He didn't say when he'd be back. I hope he returns soon. The rain is turning everything to mud. My lord might surprise you, Andreas. He never minds getting mud on his boots. Of course, I'm the one who has to clean them. Well, I apologize for taking up so much of your time. Good luck, good speed, and I hope you can stay dry. It's no trouble, and many thanks. Until next time, Andreas. Oh, one thing before you go. Did you see a short, surly-looking young man in a hat on your way up this morning? That can only be Martin Bauer. I might have gone with sullen or whiny, but yes, that's him. He ran past me in the meadow as I was walking up the hill. He was in quite a hurry. Oh, that would explain my lord's missing rings. What rings are these? 1 gold, 1 silver, a handful of golden, and a book on the bar was... And a book the Baron was planning to give to the Abbey. Gold, hey, gold coins used as currency throughout the Holy Roman Empire. Though different standards exist for the golden in different regions, it is generally equivalent to the Florentine florin. Hey! A book. Historia Tassier? I believe so, yes. I went to pack the Baron's things, and they were missing. Why do you think Martin stole the rings? Yesterday I caught the boy with the hat, Martin, I suppose, peering in through the windows. I could have admonished him at the time, but it only seemed harmless. Harmless. It's a shame. I hope the Baron won't be too put out. My lord is a man of some means. He won't miss the gold or the rings. I do think he will be upset about the book. He was quite excited for the abbot to see it. In any case, I must finish preparing the horses. It was good talking to you, Andreas. Of course. I hope this rain lets up for you soon. God willing. Until next time. Until then. Still need to go to the library for that, huh? Still gotta go to the library for that. Oh, this is wonderful. The rest of the abbey is soaked, and there's not a drop of rain in here. Good thing the abbot had Otto replace the roof to the scriptorium and library last month. At the calefactory next door, we can stay warm while everyone else is cold and wet. Hey, a calefactory, it's a communal warming room in monasteries. Calefactories are usually attached to the cloister, but in Curacao it is part of the old abbey and therefore connected to the old scriptorium. It keeps the monks warm and the library dry. Instead of bragging about our good fortune, you should think about your brothers and sisters and pray for their health and safety. The abbot's foresight saved a lot of our work and protected what's in the library. The town hasn't fared as well. I'm sure they'll be fine. More importantly, if they're not, I don't care. Brother Guy, your heart is harder than the stone on this floor. No, you have the grumpy old monk, but where's the nice one? Brother Piero, haven't you seen him yet today? I did, before Brother Guy arrived. Brother Piero left to speak to the abbot some time ago. What? Why is Matthew ringing the bell? It can't be terse already. I pray it stops soon. Such a cacophony is an assault on my frail ears. It's not stopping. I suppose this means we're being summoned to the chapter house. God, give me the strength to endure the rain. It's 50 feet, old man. You'll live. God, give me the strength to endure this man. Still not stopping. What's going on? This can't all be because of the storm. I should see what's the matter. That sounded like a scream coming from the cloister. It's coming from just down the hall. Maybe the chapter house. I think something terrible has happened, Master Andreas. Oh, catch up on the wall. Remain silent. Please, Father, where's Brother Florian? Have him come quickly. Be silent, brother. Brother Florian, if you please. I'm sorry, Father. There's nothing to be done. He's dead. Ah! Sister Margaret, calm yourself. Sister Gertrude, please take Sister Margaret back to the garden. Yes, Mother Cecilia. God protect us. The Baron was a friend of the Prince Bishop of Freising. Why is he so worried about the Prince Bishop? This abbey is odd in more than one way. Its existence offends some in the church. We are far enough in Rome and Mainz that everyone forgets about us, but this could bring unwanted attention. Florian, how easily do you think you could dispose of this body? Father Abbot, what are you saying? Why are you questioning me? Why are you wasting precious time? Do you want to see the soldiers of the Prince Bishop march up our steps and fling your brothers and sisters out of our home? Ah, no, no! Ave Maria Gratia Plenta. Silence, quiet! Calm yourselves, all of you. Father Abbot, Baron Rothwogel's manservice is already preparing to leave. The Baron's wife should be here in a matter of hours. This is not the time for rash decisions. Yes, you're right, forgive me. But then what will we do? We must send the Baron's men to the court of the Prince Bishop in Freising at once. Mother Cecilia, the Baron said the Prince Bishop's archdeacon was in Innsbruck for the imperial diet. Even better, swift action will silence any whispers of impropriety on our part. Given the Baron's stature, the archdeacon will undoubtedly come to investigate immediately. We must cooperate with him fully and pray for a speedy resolution. Yes, good. Thank you, Mother Cecilia. Brother Wolsha. I need to figure out how to pronounce that and not just pretend I know how to pronounce it. Hold on, let me just make sure. I'm seeing Woshlav, and also oh, I'm dropping all the frames now. Oh, I'm dropping all the frames. See if it picks up again. Oh, we got orange. Are we coming back? Are we coming back? I think we're coming back. I think we're okay again. Okay. Brother Woshlav, please detain Brother Piero in the cellar until the Prince Bishop's man arrives. That was the wrong button. That was the wrong button. Where'd it go? There we go. What? Brother Piero? Why? Father Gernot, I implore you to reconsider. He was caught in flagrante delicto, covered in blood with a knife in his hand. Hey, in flagrante delicto means in blazing offense, indicating an individual has been caught in the act of committing a crime. Father, do you really believe that Brother Piero is capable of such a foul deed? Yes, capable enough when motivated by anger. I had no anger against the Baron, Father Abbot. I simply came across him like this. No anger? Not even for insulting your work and forcing us to give it to Andreas? No anger? This is not a subject for debate. When the Prince Bishop's man arrives, me must not be empty-handed. Even if Pierre wanted to kill the Baron, he's not... No, he wasn't angry. Anyone who was in the scriptorium knows that. Even Guy knows that. Be quiet. This is not your affair. It's my affair if you're going to make me part of Brother Piero's supposed motive. I am through debating this with you, because you're right. My decision stands. Brother Woshlav will detain Brother Piero in the cellar until I say otherwise. Brother Florian, please escort Andreas out of the abbey. Andreas, do not show your face here again until tomorrow. Do you understand me? Say nothing. Andreas, listen to me. I sympathize with you. I don't think Piero did this either, but this isn't the time to push the abbot. I'm sure the other brothers and sisters believe Piero is innocent as well, but the abbot is worried about the Prince Bishop's attention. I have to do something. I can't let Piero die for something he didn't do. I appreciate your passion, but if you pursue this indelicately, you could make matters worse. Take a few hours to calm your nerves and your mind. You need to think clearly. Go to the Druckers, eat a good meal, and come back at nones. Monastic hour corresponding to 3 p.m., one of the little hours of prayer. Look at these friends. Oh. We won't have much time, but tap on my window with a small stone and I'll let you in. Let me in for what? Hey, to examine the body. Oh, to examine the buddy. All right. I should go follow the advice and go eat with the Druckers. That will clear my head. But we've been gone for 3.5 hours. And it's 4:30 a.m. where I am. So it's almost time for me to get ready for bed. So we are going to call it there. We'll be back with more Pentiment. Maybe at another unusual hour like this one. Who can say? Who could know it? In any case, thanks for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying. And I'll see you in 14.5 hours? Yeah, 14.5 hours for Cult of the Lamb, which is an interesting juxtaposition with this game. Two great tastes that taste great together. But yeah, we'll be back with more Pentiment at some point in the future. I don't know when. The future is a great and beautiful mystery. But I want for it to happen. And I'll find a way to make it happen. Until then, bye!